Yo, what is good, everybody?
Yo.
What it
Yo.
do?
I don't got the live pulled up yet, Brian. Tell the
Oh,
people what's good.
well, I'm
Yeah,
dead. But
I'm,
hey,
I'm pulling
man.
it up right now.
But we here live with my boy, Kiro, Kenny, and then we got special guest, Lex Express. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. He got a great league going on that I also wrestle in. So,
there
here
you go.
today,
Big
guys.
Lex in the building.
Yeah.
Taco Kid, BJ, Matt. What it do, y'all? How y'all doing? Shout out
What's
to
going on,
the 15 in
everybody?
here.
Oh, the
MGM,
gang.
What it do, my boy?
Gang
Love seeing you
following
guys
in
here.
very early. Jay Barnacle's in the building. What's up? What's up? Welcome y'all to the first Kissthering podcast. Fellas, how y'all feeling tonight?
Man, listen, bro.
Feeling,
Feeling
We
good.
got Lex kissing them
We're
rings.
good.
Y'all know we got to kiss
Yeah.
Spicy,
spicy,
man.
spicy. And that is exactly how I was going to get, if y'all can tell by the thumbnail, because pro wrestling is going crazy right now. Who wants to take the lead? Because Brian,
Hey,
let's go ahead.
don't throw it on Brian. You should
Oh,
take
you
the
want me
lead
to
after
take the
all the
lead?
shit you
You
were
want me
saying
to take the
yesterday on
lead?
Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Let's get
Okay.
it. He ready.
So, as we know, last night Tony Khan put up the footage, and all of these guys had a problem with it. What's the problem, Brian? Why do you feel like this was a problem and Tony Khan should not have released this footage?
Okay, so the reason why is because it didn't advance anything. To me, it was just a waste of time. They wasted 10 minutes on TV that they could have done something else with. And putting out this footage, I just feel like it didn't do nothing. He talked about it was a close friend of y'all. He did this, he did that. And I thought that the whole point of them showing the footage, obviously, I know that they wanted to use it to advance the storyline, which it really didn't do much for. But I personally thought, and I think a lot of other people thought, when they said, oh, we're going to drop the footage, people automatically assumed that Punk lied about the situation. And when they showed the footage, it was the exact thing that brother said. So,
But listen, they never said Punk lied. You assume they were saying Punk lied.
I mean, bro, why else show the footage then if he didn't lie? You know what I'm
Why
saying?
not show the footage? If everybody's talking about the footage, WWE is going to throw him on Ariel Helwani's show to talk about it. They're gaining more traction because of it. Hey, we want it too. It happened in our company. Why can't we get something off of it? I think he had every right to do it.
Oh, he had the right to do it for sure, but he's a complete
No,
idiot
yeah,
for
he had the
doing
right
it.
to do it, but it was
Why
a
is
dumb
he an idiot?
it
Why
was
is he
a
an idiot? You know
it
what?
was a
And
dumb
Timothy-
decision.
Timothy, if you don't like my narratives, you can get up out of here, buddy, because there's no gimmicks. If I like AEW, I like AEW. If you don't, that's your business. Kiddo,
I'll tell you why in a second.
why?
Throw it,
Like, why?
throw it.
Wait, where Kiro
I gotta go. My door's ringing. I think it's Tony Khan. Hold on.
Mr. Dubs did
Hold on.
the,
I think it's Tony Khan.
24th stream. Shout out to Mr. Dubs. Where'd Kiddo go? What happened?
Wait, I thought it was like a gimmick. What
I
is
thought
he
was-
doing?
I thought he was
Oh, the gimmick,
joking.
he faded out.
I thought he was about to hit us with a nice joke or something.
Oh, he's back.
God, okay.
Oh, he
You
was
know why?
serious.
You know why Tony Khan absolutely sucks for doing this? I'll tell you right now. Because he promoted WWE better than WWE promoted itself, man. Come on, what are you doing? You promote CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. You promote CM Punk. You just proved that CM Punk was right in everything he said. If you, this has no point. That's what I'm trying to say right here. Just like Brian said, if this is not going to prove anything, if this is not going to make CM Punk look bad and make you look good, all it's going to do is make you look second rate. Everybody on the internet right now is saying for a reason that this feels like WCW 2000, the worst wrestling era ever. It was like ran by people who just didn't understand wrestling. And it feels the same here, man. Tony Khan just has his toys, right? And he plays with them. And he could go ahead, be a child, play with your toys. I'm going to go ahead and do my own thing. And that's a lot of opinions of a lot of people, man. And like, you can't blame them for it because you're wasting our time by giving us this nothing burger. You made me less interested in Dynasty now and FTR too. I'm disappointed in FTR for going along with this thing. I mean, Young Bucks, they were like joking with Kenny, biting people in the ring after the brawl out, and they were doing the victory lap. Whatever. I'm already done with them. But I mean, come on, FTR, what are you doing? I know you're listening right now, so like wherever you try to hold this and turn in an argument for Tony Khan, Mr. My life is in danger when CM Punk is like 2
man.
kilometers away from you. All right, man. You know what I mean?
Now
You know
listen,
what I
hold
mean?
on. Because I am not trying to make an excuse for Tony Khan. What I'm saying is, I understand the move. Ratings are down. We got to do something to get the
Oh my
ratings
God,
back.
he popped
up.
100K. Oh my God, the 800K for CM Punk footage. Stop it, man. Stop it. Bad decision, Kenny. And I don't mean to cut you off, but you be cutting me off. So I'm going to do it right back to you. Listen,
wait.
Doc, it's bad.
Okay, yeah.
It's bad, bro. It's bad. That whole situation is bad. And not only that, not only do you promote one of WWE's biggest stars, sunning one of your stars on AEW television. That is something else that you did. You showed Punk sunning your mans, bruh. And now they're going to bring Jack Perry back. And yeah, he might have some heat on him. Fine. It is what it is. But my point is, this was a bad decision as a whole. Tony Schiavone was embarrassed. This is almost like he just wanted to disappear from that announce table.
Yeah,
Let's
he
talk
looked like he
about that.
died. He looked like he died.
It's bad, dog. So listen, Kenny,
Tony
I hear
Schiavone
you
for
out
this.
on the bad WWE stuff, but you're going to have to hear us out on this AEW stuff because this was a garbage decision.
So, as I was saying, I'm not
He
saying
did not give a
that
shit.
this was the best decision by Tony Khan. I understand the decision. The ratings are down. We got to do what we can to get the ratings back up. If you got something that's going to fire and get people more interested into the show, go for it. But looking at this footage, he should have looked at it and known, like, you know what, bro, this is not going to really get us anything. So I understand the move and I respect the bravery, but what
Hold on.
was just
You just contradicted yourself.
how?
Ooh, here we go.
You said you understand the move, but he needed to watch the footage and understand and did nothing for him. But you understand the move. How do you understand the move if you know the footage
Like,
did nothing
listen,
for him?
if you think this can do something, then you put it out there. There was something he thought in his mind, like, you know what, this footage, he's walking up to Jack Perry as the aggressor. CM Punk's wrong in the situation. Don't get me wrong. Because if he sees it the way I see it, then
We could talk about that too. We could talk
But the
about that
fans
too.
are just so much like they deride CM Punk so much, nobody's going to take Jack Perry's side. He should have known that. But normal people who aren't in this wrestling bubble can look at that footage and see that CM Punk as a 50-year-old man walking up to a 25-year-old
The joke is old. 45.
putting his hands on him when he's a trained fighter is wrong. CM Punk could have gone to jail that night because if you're trained in MMA like that, you got to register as like you have to register your hands as weapons. And
lethal weapon.
You make him sound badass on like Jungle Boy. You got his ass whooped in a matter of milliseconds, only for Samoa Joe to save him immediately. And
walk up to Brock Lesnar and do that.
Bro, I bet you CM Punk getting into the business with anybody, bro. He don't come off. He don't strike me as a guy that's scared of people, bro. I'll be honest. You know,
yeah,
he is.
he
He is.
I bet you CM Punk would not walk up to Malachi Black and do that.
Who is Malachi Black?
Malachi Black.
He's skinnier than me.
Better than CM Punk can.
He's skinnier than me.
But he's trained.
And I'm
to be fair, he is trained, but I mean, we didn't see that, man. We can't.
Did that to Jack Perry because he knew Jack Perry couldn't do nothing about it.
That's a
And if y'all
hypothetical.
respect him as the man for that, then
didn't Punk get into a fight with the elite too? So at that point,
Yeah,
the Punk's
he's-
right there.
that's like me going to the high school and slapping a kid.
Nah, but come on, man. He
You make it
confronted
sound
him.
like
They both
go ahead,
over
go ahead.
18, bro. It's legal. They could fight. They could go for it.
It's not legal. That's not legal.
Yeah, but you're removing the entire context of the situation.
Exactly.
That's the
This
situation.
dude, Jack
That's the
Perry.
situation. If Tony Khan looked at it like that, like, you know what?
No, man.
This is what happened here. CM Punk is wrong. He's back here putting his hands on children.
all right.
Tape out.
How is CM Punk? Hold on. How is CM Punk wrong? Right? If Jack Perry just went on the pre-show on national TV stream, whatever you want to call it, pay-per-view, pre-pay-per-view, he went out into business for himself, right?
And what, he said something?
Yeah, he
That
talked
means you
about
put
the
your
guys
hands on
taking
him.
a subtle shot at him.
If you go to
And Jack Perry told him if you want, and Jack Perry,
hey, Lex Express, you're an idiot, and I don't like you, and you slapped him. Who's going to jail?
Jack Perry
All
told him if you got a
right,
problem, do something about it. He instigated.
Okay, as a man, you got a problem. Do something about it.
Dude, but
Shouts out
you're
to Jack Perry for not backing down from that man who came in his face trying to challenge him.
I feel like you're just arguing just to argue. You're throwing blanks because that's like if I start.
It's my perspective. You know, I was going to come on here and concede, but if y'all want to talk about it, let's
but
talk
that's
about it.
that's like if I start talking about sports like basketball and I say, oh no, well it's just a laundry basket with a hole and they put a round ball in it. Like you're just dumbing it down. You got to look at the context and what set that up. Jack Perry went into business for himself. He talked about the shit that's been going on online that everybody was reporting, and he went out there and did what? He did a subtle shot at CM Punk. CM Punk confronts him. He wasn't gonna get you. You're acting like if he went up charging at him to clothesline him like JBL. He went up to him and talked to him, and Jack Perry said,
No,
"What are you
he
gonna
did
do about
not.
it? What are you
What
gonna do
are
about
do
it?"
about it? What are you gonna do
He
about
went
it?
up and
That's
spoke
what
to
he
him
said.
about it. He spoke him.
Yeah.
There
and
was
then
no balled up fist from Jack Perry. His hands was in his
CM Punk
hair.
either. CM Punk
lunged
either
at him.
though. What did
For
CM
one,
Punk
if
do?
you're gonna fight a man, you tell him to put your hands up,
But
guard
he
yourself.
He
You're gonna
didn't
push
want to
your hand with his
fight him
hands in
though.
his hair.
What is this, the
You
UFC,
love the
dude?
word coward.
Yeah, you're
That's
acting
what
like
came
we're
off at.
talking about combat sports here. We're having a conversation man to man, grown
I'm
dude to
not
grown
talking about
dude.
combat sports. I'm talking man to man.
All
If
right,
you wanna
and
fight
I'm
somebody
not giving
after
you a chance to get
tell
your
him to
hands up,
put his
dog. I'm
hands-
socking you.
yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
like-
And plus, he pushed
Well,
him,
if you
dude.
can't
Hold
defend
on.
yourself, you're gonna sock him out front. But if I know I can defend myself, I'm gonna say put your hands up. I want a fair one. I'm
Jack
not gonna try to
Perry,
bust you. I mean, if you're Shaquille O'Neal, then yes, I'm going for it. But
dude.
you
Jack
can beat
Perry,
me now, you tell him put your hands up.
Kenny, you got a 26-year-old kid right
Kid.
in your face saying, "Oh, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it, huh? What are you gonna do about it?" Doing this to you, dancing in your face. Of course, you're gonna want to whoop his ass. So you push him, you
I'm
put
not
him in a
gonna do
lock
it.
to show him who's boss. All he did was put him in a lock and babied his ass. That's all he did. He
Okay, but a
humiliated
headlock
him.
is dangerous.
Yeah, he
Oh
was
my
about to feed him some
God.
baby food too. Samoa Joe wasn't
yeah.
there.
You're acting
You know
like
what
he's
I mean?
gonna.
I don't know,
He
I
was
think
gonna
Jack Perry
kill
would've knocked
him.
him out. I think he was gonna
Plus,
slip out of that headlock.
we gotta talk about what happened before. Jungle Boy keep disrespecting CM Punk. He kept doing it, and CM Punk told Tony multiple times, "Take care
Yeah,
of it.
handle
I'll
it."
take care of myself."
Or I'll handle it.
Exactly.
You're not
Tony
gonna
do.
like the way I do it.
But I tell you what, he didn't do that to Ryback.
What was
Okay.
there to do to Ryback?
I mean, Ryback was injuring him every time they got in a ring, bro.
But he didn't put his hands on Ryback.
because they didn't have a confrontation, but that
They did.
doesn't happen in
Didn't CM
WWE.
Punk tell him, "Are you stupid? Are you an idiot or something
Yeah,
like that?"
but
But he
Ryback
And then
didn't
he
do
said,
that.
"I'm
Ryback ain't do
stupid."
nothing. At
Oh,
that
Ryback-
point,
And Ryback said,
at
"I'm
that point,
stupid."
it's on
Ryback-
Ryback for
No,
him to hit him.
wait. This is important. Let me tell you this. Ryback
Go,
said,
go.
"I'm stupid." Instead of saying, "What are you gonna do about it, bro? What are you gonna
Yeah,
do?" It
exactly.
didn't even evolve into a conversation.
Ryback
You don't know what happened in
wasn't
that
trying to fight him. Ryback
But he
wasn't
didn't
trying to
put
fight
his
him.
hands on Ryback. You didn't hear no story about CM Punk putting his hands on
Because
Ryback.
Ryback didn't challenge him and say, "Yeah, man, what you gonna do about it, bro?"
Yeah,
And
I
look,
agree.
Ryback lies
Jungle Boy
about
didn't either.
everything. Ryback
Jungle
lies
Boy-
about
there's-
everything.
The report is that Jungle Boy said, "What are you gonna do about it?"
So I just want to know: are y'all saying
an
right now
Italian
CM
accent.
Punk was right for putting his hands on this young man?
Look,
No, there is no there.
It's
I'm
no,
not
it's
saying.
fine. I can see.
I'm not
that's not
saying.
even what
they-
we're talking about. That's not even the
Y'all think that's
conversation,
okay,
though.
then there's nothing I can do to.
Why are we talking about who's right or wrong? We're talking about why was this footage shown in a position where it was promoted like it was going to make CM Punk or anyone else look bad. It made AEW look bad because it
Because
looks like they don't have any content, and they had to.
bubble, and these guys in the wrestling bubble were normal humans. This would make CM Punk bad for putting his hands on the kid. So
He's
Tony
not a
Khan was
kid.
in the
Let's
right
get that
hands.
out the
He
way.
was in
He's
that
not a
line.
kid. He's grown. He's grown. He's grown. Let's get that
26
out
is
the way.
pretty darn old.
Let's
Pretty
get,
grown.
and if somebody
Look at
shows
some
the
numbers.
footage of what Jack Perry
Take a
did,
look at some numbers.
people would go back and be like, "All right, this is."
He
what
had it
happened."
coming.
Yeah, like
And-
you said, Lex.
Dog,
like
if you know
45
that the cup is about to spill, why would you go into business for yourself at the biggest show in AEW history and do this?
Oh man.
Come
CM
on,
Punk
Yeah.
let's
CM
talk
Punk
about it.
was like 6 years younger than Jungle Boy. When
Nah,
Jungle Boy
man.
was
You're brushing it over.
Ryan. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that you're brushing it over and you're trying to pick like who's right or wrong. I think both of them are wrong, but at the end of the day, if I'm not going to use that as a cop-out excuse, the real villain and the real bad guy you got to point the finger and blame is management. They got
Yes.
no one running the show backstage. How was that allowed? CM
Well,
Punk
that's-
literally pleaded and said, "Yo, handle these people, please."
Okay, so there's a
He's-
management issue
What
in
do you want
wrestling.
to do?
Is what
What do
you're
you
saying
want?
because
There's
Jake
1,000% a
Rough
management
ever
issue.
fight in
And listen,
WWE?
fights happen. You know what I'm saying? It is what it
All the
is.
time.
It's a part of the
Attitude Era.
business. It's a part of the
It's a
business. But
people
my
thing.
point is, Tony Khan just sitting there watching them confront each other. Why did nobody even try to stop it right before? Why did Tony Khan not call somebody right before? You see these guys are obviously getting agitated right in front of you, and you still don't do nothing about it. And you let
just
it spill
watch
over.
it. You just taking pictures and
What's he
just
supposed
what?
to do? They're just talking to each other until
Hey,
CM
are
Punk.
you a
Bro,
fan
you
or are
got
you the
bro.
boss?
At that point, you're
Come
so
on.
at that point you're so
They were
next.
just talking to each other until CM Punk flew off the handle.
Bro, no,
You're
you're
acting
right
like
next
he
to
didn't
Tony
know what was
Khan. They're
going
right in front
on.
of him. Of course, Tony
CM
Khan is
Punk
gonna
told
hear.
him before, like CM Punk literally told him, like, I'm gonna handle this myself. You don't do anything for weeks and weeks and probably months, maybe.
How do we know? We weren't
You know.
back there. We don't know
And
that.
then again, and
Nah,
let's
but
not
CM
forget
Punk
that
talked
CM
about
Punk asked for a meeting, and the Bucks
I don't
still wouldn't
believe
meet him.
anything.
So at the end of the day, this is more a management issue than on anybody else. And it's handled by a bunch of kids. We want to talk about kids. AEW is ran by literal
WWE
kids
is
with
ran by a
money.
bunch of kids and rapists and molesters, all kind of stuff back there too, because it happened in WWE as well, not just one time.
They got Ric Flair. They literally got Ric Flair in
Nah,
AEW.
look,
Yeah,
man,
Vince McMahon
these
built WWE, so
these
we're looking
kind
at
of-
it. You guys are praising the company built on all of this sexual deviancy. So
But- but who's praising WWE?
Wait, Kenny, I mean, are you drinking water? I'm sure some CEO has done some crazy stuff in like Nestle, for example. So you can't drink water anymore. I'm sorry. It's
but we know
over.
what Vince McMahon did. We don't know what the guys in.
Also, it's fine if we
So
don't
that's
know.
fine.
Okay.
If we know,
I mean, if we don't know what-
if we know the allegations of what Vince McMahon did, that's fine. But that's not what the conversation is about. We're talking about AEW.
Wait,
We're talking about
how-
AEW.
How has this like?
as well?
How did you spin this into like that?
We knew
We're
Nick Khan knows. We knew Nick Khan knows. I mean, so what are we talking about here? Are we going to talk about management? Because y'all talking about management. If y'all want to
But
talk about
we're
management,
talking about an
Dude.
issue in AEW.
But hold on.
Where
My
are
bad.
you, bro? Look what you
Let
got
me-
doing, bro. Look at
What are we focusing on here? Because we're talking about the product for the consumers, and all we do is watch a movie play out on TV. We watch TV programming. We're
Right.
not here to judge who's right or wrong, who's a saint,
blaming
who's a.
management for something CM Punk did.
We're blaming management for not handling these people and putting them in their place when they needed to be put in their place long before he went into business for himself, long before CM Punk stood toe-to-toe with Jack Perry and was challenged.
Then
Also,
again,
What's the point of the company then? What's the point of the company if they're not
elite
going to
did
do
not
anything?
want
So
to
what
do
should
the
they have
meeting with
done?
CM
They
Punk.
have just fired these people, or what should they have done?
What should
Yeah,
they
they
have
should
done is
handle
make
it.
business, make
Yep.
money. We're here to work, now hold hands.
That's
And
what they were doing. We're gonna, you know what, guys, do your
Come on.
thing. Jack
No,
Perry, you wanna use
that's
class?
not what
Yes,
happened.
Oh yeah, they made so
That's
much
not what
money,
happened.
man.
That's not dude,
700,000.
Do you
Woo!
understand the match you had on your hands between Kenny Omega and CM Punk?
No, CM
But the
Punk
elite did not
is
want
not
to.
going to have a match with Kenny Omega.
The elite didn't
CM
want to
Punk
do
is
the
in here
meeting.
in
The
every
elite did
match.
not
I'm
want
gonna
to
make
do
it
the
clear.
meeting. CM Punk was available for the meeting, and the elite did not want to do it. Who's to
And I don't
say if
blame
they
them. I
talk
don't
about
blame
it and
them. If I don't
resolve it
like you, I'm
there?
not sitting down
CM
with
Punk
you.
is still
As a
in
man.
AEW and not in WWE.
Look,
As a
if this
man,
was a-
if I don't like you,
okay.
I'm not sitting down with you. I
Danny,
don't blame
Look,
you.
if this was
No,
an excluded
that's
case,
wrong,
just
Kenny.
one case that
That's
happened just
wrong.
once. Hold on, look, they did this similar stuff, this shady stuff. I'm talking about Kenny and the Elite Gang in New Japan, in Ring of Honor, in probably every single company they've ever been in. This is not the first time, so I do blame them. There has to be a problem now. Like one time, I understand. 2 times it starts to get sus.
At this
CM
point, though,
Punk, bro. We're
before
talking
we
about CM
before
Punk.
we
He
move
does this
on,
to every company he's in.
before we move on, I do want to talk about Kenny just saying, if I, as a man, I'm not, no, bro, it's about business. If you want to make money, you sit down and have that talk and you wrestle. That's what Vince McMahon did. To anybody who had a problem backstage, Vince McMahon would put them both together and they could shoot on each other, whatever they were going to do. But at the end of the day, they made
Are we going
money.
to talk about Vince
They
McMahon?
made
'Cause
money.
if you want to bring Vince
They
McMahon's
made
name
money.
up, we can
I'm
talk
not
business.
talking about what he did. I'm talking about the aspect of the business perspective. I'm talking about
Aspect of
what
business perspective.
I'm talking
You
about
wanna
what
talk
was
about
done.
Vince McMahon's
I'm talking
business
about what was
perspective
done. I'm talking about what
and
was done.
NDAs and all of that stuff.
I'm
So
talking
we're
about
gonna-
talking
so
about
we're
what
here
was
to
done in the
judge-
wrestling.
So
I'm
we're
just
now,
saying, if we want to talk about, if you're going to bring up Vince McMahon, we got to talk about everything.
dude.
If you
but
want to talk about his business
understand-
practice, we got to talk about his business practice.
My boy, but listen, we're not talking about the. You're shying away from the subject at hand. At the end of the day,
I'm just
we're
talking
not
about what
saying-
Brian's talking
we're
about.
not- but we're not saying that Tony Khan's an asshole. Tony Khan is probably the nicest businessman we've ever heard of. He's maybe even
Yeah,
too
what kind
nice
of man
and
he is? I'm
But it
talking
sounds
about
like
Whoa,
when you're
wait,
talking
you don't
about
get what kind of man he
everybody
is? You don't get what
else.
kind of man he is? What were you saying about Miss McMahon just a millisecond ago?
Exactly,
Well, we already know
exactly.
about Vince
You're
McMahon. We know what kind of
contradicting
man
yourself.
Vince
Who
McMahon
cares
is.
that we know? Who are we to judge? That those are his fetishes.
Who are we to judge, y'all?
Yeah, how is this a conversation that we're having now? First and foremost, there's allegations out there. The text messages, that's beyond crazy. We're not even talking about none
There's
of those
NDAs out there. When
But-
you get to NDAs, you go past allegations.
But so all right. So if you're reading all that stuff, why do you sound so misinformed when it comes to AEW? Because you know all about the gossip.
Informed about AEW. Let's get into that part.
Dude, you're talking about, oh, he's a bad guy. No, so we gotta blame CM Punk because CM Punk is the bad guy for going up to a little kid. How do you're missing the whole context of the whole story? Because you don't have, you're not putting context into place. You're making it seem like it's just a grumpy old man going after a young kid.
But y'all are saying, why did I just answered your question? You said, why did Tony Khan think it was a good idea, and how did he think this was going to make CM Punk look bad? Because CM Punk is a old man who is a trained fighter, and he's walking up against a kid who's not, and he's attacking him. That's why Tony Khan said this is going to make CM Punk look bad. And to normal people,
it's what we
CM Punk look bad.
Though. It's what we knew, though.
And you guys
are you calling AEW fans unnormal because they were chanting CM Punk's name after that?
Yeah, no,
are you calling them losers or weird people too?
They're
one in the 600 people in that building were chanting CM Punk's name after that.
Yo, Kenny,
fans are WWE fans.
Do you wait? So did you make that up as in like you think that's what Tony Khan was thinking, or if that's what you were thinking about from his perspective?
Question: why would this make CM Punk look bad? That's my answer. If that's how it makes him look bad.
Okay, so that's his that's his perspective, and that's fine by any means.
You asked my perspective. That's all I can give you. I'm not Tony Khan. I can't tell you what
my problem with this is, bruh, is the question, right? What does this do for AEW, right? It popped 100,000 more than they usually pop.
100,000 more, which is not enough.
So they'll be back to 700 next week.
It was a bad move. You try, you fail. They tried and they failed. Now, if the ratings go under 600,000 next week or under 700,000 next week, that's a problem. I think they really messed up by doing this.
Okay, so do you think this is something that's going to hurt them long term?
I think it is. Based on the response today, I think it is.
Fair enough.
But you know what? I'm not mad at them for trying it. That's all I'm saying. Like, bro, we are in a hole right now. Things are moving slow. I went to the AEW show. I told y'all nobody was like less than half the arena was full. And it's like that apparently in every city. So they got to do something. He has to figure something out. And he said, you know what? CM Punk got all of this attention by talking about it. What can we get by showing it? And that's all it was.
Okay. So
now, hold up. Before we pivot, the Triple H and Will Ospreay thing.
Oh, no, I wasn't. No. Before we get, I'm just going to get some people's thoughts on this situation.
Ahead,
and we
you
got
to talk about that too.
This is heated. Hey, man, we good. Don't worry about it,
no,
bro.
We good, y'all.
We
all
podcast vibe, you know what I'm saying?
Lex, I think you're a very cool guy.
Thanks, bro. You too, Kenny. I don't have no problem. This is all fun and games. Yeah. We ain't talking about nothing serious.
So Himothy said Brett hated Sean, but they still made money together.
How long? How long did it take?
I mean,
they worked a couple years together. They didn't like each other for a while, but like I think more of an example of like guys that don't like each other and they have bad blood is Shawn Michaels and The Rock. The Shawn Michaels and The Rock are not even like amicable. They're just away from each other at all times. You don't hear about them or see pictures of them all together, right?
Like my grandma used to say, if you got nothing else to say, just don't say anything.
Yeah, so they've had like this is known that it's like it's almost to the point where it's awkward. They don't have there's no sightings of The Rock and Shawn Michaels. They never had a match together.
Yeah.
And it's because they beefed, but we never heard anything about it. We haven't heard it from Shawn. Yeah,
that's news to me.
They never really rocked with each other. And Triple H has said it that they were super competitive, but that's about it.
Yeah, I heard him and Triple H had beef because when he was coming in, Triple H was kind of holding him down, trying to hold him down.
Yeah, the competitiveness.
Yeah,
but they still worked, and they were arch nemesis, rivals, all that.
Yeah. But Brian, where were you going to pivot?
So I was just reading some comments, bro. Let's go on ahead and get into this Will Ospreay and Triple H situation.
Yeah, let's read some comments. Well,
hold on. Before we continue, man, I feel so uncomfortable that you truly feel that that's how Tony Khan feels about this whole situation, bro.
So
what's your perspective?
Why do you think he played it?
dude.
In your
Because
perspective, why did he play this tape?
the thing is that sounds like super kindergarten. Like, I think anyone with a brain would understand that there's really not much to gain from this here. I don't think it makes CM Punk look bad, because if CM Punk was already going to look bad, he made it look bad on himself when he talked about it live with Ariel Helwani. He already put out the details. What did he do? Just confirm that he was right. If anything, he added the seal of approval that CM Punk is not a liar. That's all
He never tried to say he was a liar. The point is, I think it shows CM Punk as the aggressor. Jack Perry was back there minding his business, and you are absolutely 100% right. It's kindergarten. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. Real glass, cry me a river. What did he say? I'm going to go attack this young man. Bro, what?
He confronted him. You're using the wrong word. He didn't attack him. He confronted him. He then attacked him once the man instigated him back.
But he attacked him.
Dude,
it doesn't matter. If you confront me and I'm a man and I feel like you're trying to make me feel less than a man, I don't care if you are the big bad wolf. I'm breathing in your face too. Like, punch me if you want.
All right.
Conor McGregor, what do you want to do about it? I'm pumping it. You know what? Because you're not going to walk away from here saying,
McGregor, dog. I'm
good.
good.
He didn't say nothing back to me. Boom, you got me from there.
I'm gonna add to your point. So the thing is this: the Jack Perry incident wasn't just about that moment on the pre-show, by the way, because I watched the entire conversation. What?
The pre-show. That makes it even worse.
Yeah, but it wasn't just about that. I think it was, CM Punk described it on the podcast with Ariel Helwani. He said that a couple weeks prior or something like that, it was Tony Schiavone and the doctors and a bunch of people came up to CM Punk asking for him, dog, you need to talk to Jack Perry for us because he ain't listening. He wants to do this. And he's cursing
everybody out like, what?
And causing problems backstage. So they wanted the grizzled old veteran you're talking about, Mr. 50-year-old, they wanted him to confront him and kind of wise him up and be like, hey, young buck, we ain't doing this. And that's exactly what CM Punk told him. He said, hey, we're not doing this on Collision. Go do that on Wednesday. And you mean to tell me that it somehow got leaked into the open? Somehow the world found out about it, right? And then Jack Perry on live TV played into it again, butthurt, when CM Punk had already dropped it. CM Punk had no beef with him.
But I didn't drop it yet. It's still bothering me, so I'm going to do what I want to do. Real glass, cry me a river. Why
on TV? How were you shocked? How were you shocked when he gets punched in the face? You didn't get punched in the face, but how are you shocked? This guy says, please don't do this many times, and you do it. Oh, look, I'm doing it. Oh, he punched me. He punched me out of nowhere. Oh my God, he's a murderer. No, come on.
No, Jack Perry didn't. He didn't
mess
do that.
around and you find out. You mess around and you find out.
Jack Perry didn't cry or back down from or nothing. He stood there
all right, that's just all right. So let's give credit. As bad as Vince McMahon is, let's give him props because Brock Lesnar stood toe-to-toe, threw the title at him, threw a tantrum, broke shit, and he had to break up fights, and he got punched in the face by Bret Hart. I mean, let's give him props because none of those guys got fired.
So why should Tony Khan have fired Jack Perry?
No, I'm not saying he should have fired him.
He's supposedly still suspended. I'll be honest.
I saw Loaded as a Beast in the chat says, Kenny, what if Jack Perry did this to Stone Cold or Undertaker in 1999?
Is that he wouldn't?
Man, like Lex said, they punched him in the face. He didn't fire him. You don't fire wrestlers for having fights with each other. These are men testosterone jacked up.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens.
Jungle jacked up.
I just think that here's the problem, and I've talked about this many times with my boys too. The problem is this: CM Punk, right? The people that grew up, let's say if, are you guys CM Punk fans?
I like CM
Not
Punk.
at all. Not one bit. Not one bit of so.
All right, so Kenny doesn't like him. Makes a lot of sense why he's biased. Carol likes him, and you like him, right, Brian?
And that makes sense why you guys are biased, because you like him.
No, because the thing is that I admit that CM Punk was being a hothead and he was wrong. That's the thing. That's why I'm rocking the AEW hat, because I want you to know that I'm not all WWE.
Okay. Exactly, and I'm not
I'll bring out my AEW strap too, baby. I'm not just all WWE, you know.
So WWE straps in here somewhere, so I'm not just AEW like these people always say.
I don't think you are. I just feel like, look, at the end of the day, what happened here is simple. If Brian, Kiro, or me got the chance to work with CM Punk, right, at our age, as old as CM Punk is, we would look at it as a blessing. We would want to make business with this guy who's a legend like MJF did and Darby Allin and all these other guys that ended up working well with CM Punk and doing some good stuff with CM Punk. But then you're going to have the guys that don't really respect the guy, right? Because of all the rumors, because they didn't care for him. Like how you feel. Like if CM Punk did half of the shit that he did backstage, you would have had beef with him too. Because you don't like the guy, you don't really respect him. But I bet your ass you ain't gonna go up to Stone Cold or The Rock or Brock or any of those guys that you actually respect. Hell, you may even have a little fear. Like, yeah, we don't fear any men. We're all equal. We're all the same. We all take a shit and piss, right? But when you see these guys that you respect and admire, there's a certain like layer there that's just not gonna let you get to that point.
Yeah.
And CM Punk, unfortunately, that just wore thin with the locker room there because a lot of people were already fans of the established, group they had there. And when CM Punk was brought in, what did Tony Khan do? He meat rode CM Punk till the wheels fell off, literally, bro. Begging, oh man, this guy, the number one guy in our company. And you got the pillars of AEW. They're like, dog, this guy just walked in and all he does is talk shit. He hasn't even fought. He's been injured. Screw CM Punk. So then CM Punk comes to give you advice, Kenny. What are you going to tell him back? Oh, man, I've been doing...
my face, bro. We got it over here. We was holding it down before you got here. We don't need you right now either.
Exactly. So what are we talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Jack Perry's a pillar. So he's like, you know what? This is my house. Why is CM Punk coming in here telling me what to do?
But why are we acting like this? This is not just my house. This is our house. We're here to make money. We're here to make AEW the second best company in the world behind WWE because we ain't going to pass them.
Hey, they could.
Yeah, they could what? On one episode? Wait, they could
never say never.
Even AEW at their peak, they could pass them on what? One good episode, 2 pay-per-views in the year that are good?
NXT. Come on now.
NXT,
Come on now. They blew NXT out the water.
They spanked their development.
Now you downplay the win. You downplay the win. WWE put NXT on Wednesday night specifically to go against AEW and AEW.
And that's fine, but they did it with their developmental brand, and now you could even argue that NXT is getting more.
But they had Becky Lynch down there. They had the Undertaker down there. Come on, bro.
For a week.
Undertaker doing on NXT.
For a
week, brother.
Why did they do it though? Because
the more you defend that, the more you make AEW look
at the end of the day, bro. I'm not at the end of the day like. As a developmental brand or whatever.
You keep saying, hold on, wait, because you keep saying developmental brand. WWE said themselves, this is not a developmental brand. This is our third brand. Am I correct?
Obviously leading that way after WrestleMania. Final Testament.
No. Am I correct? That's what WWE said.
I wouldn't say that, bro. They don't have no established stars down there that right now.
Come on, guys.
Why Hayes and Braun Breaker? That's it.
Either they only had Chris Jericho.
Why are we acting so naive? No, don't act naive. Come on, man.
They're stacked. You had Cody Rhodes at the time. Like, you had a lot of big guys.
The Young Bucks were not established. Kenny Omega was not established, and that was their biggest mistake by thinking they were.
Kenny Omega was not established.
Bro, Kenny Omega was not established in America.
That's true, though. I think.
Well, if that's the case, most of the people they've brought in haven't really been established in America because they haven't even been on TV.
Exactly. Bingo. Proves the point. That's what I'm saying. So that's why you put them up against.
You still got bigger names than NXT than the NXT roster, though. Like,
dude, let's not just because they tell you Santa Claus is real, don't mean it's true. They could tell you this is our third brand. They're trying to get you to watch their show. What else are they supposed to tell you? They tried staying afloat. That's all they tried doing.
How can we tell them this is not their third brand? This is their company. What do you mean?
No, I mean,
this is their company. If you look at this is our third brand. It's not developmental.
Bro, if you look at the personnel, they got Jada Parker on TV. We don't know who that is, bro, by just social media. There is
we definitely know Kenny Omega 10 times, 20 times more than Jada Parker.
That's my point. They got people that we've never seen
in NXT around this time. Come on.
Kenny,
come on, you had Adam Cole.
Where have you seen like Thea Hale or Andre Dawson before? Have you seen any of these people before in any other wrestling shows? They're not established compared to a Kenny Omega, John Moxley.
Shows back when NXT was going up.
Oh my God!
What are you talking about?
John Moxley.
My point is that
nobody knows John Moxley.
It's been a developmental brand. This is where they develop new stars.
It was not a developmental brand back then.
Wait,
bro,
are we talking about
back then? They had Adam Cole. They had Finn Balor. They had Sami Zayn. These are all AEW guys who are on the same level as the guys who were in AEW.
Because they went ahead and signed them, and AEW has been trying to get people from NXT because they don't build stars and they don't have like an actual system that actually
works. About building
works.
stars, so we're gonna jump to building stars topic now because
Nah.
AEW made Cody Rhodes and Jade Cargill stars.
And they're both in the WWE, so why does that matter?
Cody Rhodes was never a star in WWE until he went to AEW.
AEW is NXT 3.0.
Cody Rhodes built himself back up, and then AEW.
But guess where he did it at? In AEW.
Forget AEW building Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes built AEW. Like if Cody Rhodes didn't exist, AEW would have faltered way sooner. I think.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I still think Cody Rhodes is their biggest loss from a business perspective.
Kenny. AEW built Cody Rhodes. He made his own theme. He made his own character. No, if anything, he built them. They knew him from WWE. The people that watched him followed him across the globe, whether it was New Japan, TNA, even GCW, when he was in the indie circle. NWA. He fought everywhere, and people followed because you know where Cody Rhodes was established? In WWE, and everyone that liked him from there said, oh, WWE ain't using him right. There's so much more for Cody Rhodes. So he left. He rebranded himself and went on a freaking tour worldwide.
Whoa.
Exactly. Ends up in AEW on TNT, and they're like, oh, that's the guy from WWE. What the hell?
Yeah, on TNA, New Japan, all that, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch his matches in TNA, New Japan when he left WWE?
Did I watch him?
Yeah, did you watch it?
I saw clips. I wasn't really going to be watching full matches.
Kiddo, did you watch clips and stuff from him, New Japan?
I saw clips. I did.
I knew what he was doing, but I'm not.
You didn't watch, right? Did you watch his stuff in AEW, Brian?
I watched some of his stuff in AEW.
I watched him in AEW. I saw him live.
AEW?
I watched everything he did from the indies.
Did you watch his stuff in AEW?
Yeah, I saw it live.
Where did he make himself a star for the majority of America who only watched WWE and AEW? He did it in AEW and brought it to WWE.
Himself. That's his
point. He did not make
too.
himself outside of that company. He built himself up in AEW and used AEW as the platform to do that, just like Jade Cargill did. If Jade Cargill,
I'll give you Jade Cargill.
He'll be an NXT.
Jade Cargill and MJF. Jade Cargill and MJF. That you could have that.
There's no arguing. Jade Cargill for sure was established there at AEW. No doubt about that. I'm not even gonna even tap into that.
And built himself up in AEW.
You're right.
WWE as a star.
But Cody was getting booed.
Right now came directly from AEW.
Did you watch Cody in AEW?
Absolutely.
Do you remember the promos that he said, you guys could boo me, whatever. I don't care what you guys do. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to turn. And everybody thought that he was ruining the show, that he was booking himself, and that he was doing all that. People thought that it was awful.
You know why? Because he was building a WWE character in AEW, and the people didn't want to see that. So he built that WWE character in AEW, took it to WWE, and it worked.
No, dude, he was trying to build television programming because that's what you got to do when you're on a weekly basis on TNT and TBS, which is something that Tony Khan does. Tony Khan puts on live events for us on national TV with no substance. That's what he does.
2K exhibition matches, randomized buttons. Let's go.
You want to watch WWE compete with AEW? Go to a house show. Go to a house show. It's the same as AEW. They grab the mic for a second. They say, oh, yeah, so they're in Miami. Oh, Miami sucks, and I'm the best. Boo! And then gets interrupted by a baby face. Boom, there's your match. That's AEW.
Bro, WWE isn't really telling stories right now either. I mean, AEW, you're absolutely correct. AEW has to work on the storytelling because right now it's bad. They should not have put that championship on Samoa Joe because I feel like he killed it. Like everything was fine until Samoa Joe got the title. Now everything's just meaningless.
I gotta disagree, bro. What stories do you expect them to build on the Raftermania? The draft still has to happen.
Oh my goodness, bro!
We're just coming off the biggest story in the wrestling industry for the past 2 years.
Bro, this is like the season start. Like this is where you need to build.
No, the draft is the season start.
Was they picked up all the matches that didn't make it to WrestleMania and the show sucked.
Yeah, the show sucked. I agree. For after WrestleMania, it sucked. It's still way better than AEW because they at least they're telling some sort of story.
Exactly.
Right now, yes, right now WWE is and they all Raw's bad. Raw's bad.
All the stories just ended at WrestleMania, bro. I'm confused.
And another thing I'm confused about. How did Raw suck? Like, to whose standard? Because you thought that we're going to get the second coming of Kenny Omega showing up?
Almost fell asleep.
Huh?
My boy here, Kidder, almost
Oh,
fell
yeah.
asleep 3 times watching Raw.
Yeah, but I mean, Raw's 3 hours. What do you expect? You're gonna fall asleep unless the
Look
Raw
at
shows
the,
up.
oh my goodness! Look at
Nah,
the excuses.
we can't.
Like,
We
this
got to
is
complain about
WWE.
that.
This is that WWE juice y'all drink.
Yeah.
Like no
Look.
matter what
You
it
were
is,
talking
they
about
make
a
it
bash
WWE.
3 hours because they make the juice.
Nah, I bash
Oh my
WWE enough. I bash them
You're
more
not
than
gonna
enough.
ever bash WWE.
I
Carol
thought-
will. Carol will. Brian be like, I mean, it was an okay show, but when
No,
we watch
that's
it
not-
live, he'll say it sucks.
Nah,
No,
but
I'll
Brian, yeah.
tell you what sucks and I'll tell you what's good.
Nah, Brian be
the-
snoozy.
when people talk about, oh, this show, like the Raw show, I didn't think it was that bad, but people are like, because at the end of the day, bro, like Raw after Mania, I agree with y'all. It's definitely taken a turn downhill for a couple years now. But like this Raw, to me, it was all right, bro. I mean, we got The Rock, we
It
got
was
John
all right.
Cena.
The Raw after
Like,
WrestleMania
I'm
was not
cool.
supposed to be all right.
I'm
Man.
cool.
The Raw after WrestleMania is supposed to be the best Raw of the year
All right. And
because
okay.
it used to be.
All right. You know how it used to be? You want me to tell you? Simple. Vince
Because-
McMahon. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nah, I'm gonna listen. Go. I'm listening.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead.
All right. Vince McMahon was of the mindset of bringing in all these old farts that I love and I grew up on. I loved them, right? Triple H is all about in-house what we got. We're not just gonna sign or make a splash
Do you
just to
mind if I
get
stop
people.
you right there, buddy?
Go ahead. Go
Main
ahead.
event of WrestleMania Night 2.
It's the 40th anniversary, though. You're right. And what did he do?
Man was okay. It's the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. Then this had to be some type of, Raw had to be matching up to that.
And hold on. Let me add to what you just said. You wanted to throw that back at me? I'm gonna hit you back with a counter. That match, everyone that came out had a reason to be there. Solo had feuded with John Cena and destroyed John Cena. John Cena came back to redeem himself and help Cody in the process from getting cheated. That's justified. And then The Rock, everybody wanted it to be Stone Cold, and it wasn't. It was Undertaker, who has literally faced every single Samoan in that family and was actually at WrestleMania with Roman and lost to Roman and has feuded with The Rock in their heyday. And all he did was what? Lights off, on, lights off, chokeslam, gone. He didn't come out here to do no little slobber knocker. They didn't do no Ric Flair bleeding bullshit. They just came out for one move, one and done. It's the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania, and Cody Rhodes needs to be the biggest boss there is, Roman Reigns. Of course, you got to throw everything at that, but the Raw after Mania, if you look at the best Raws after Mania, they have always involved legends and Hall of Famers, and they get random people signed on to the show. There's no free agents for them to sign right now. It could have been what's this dude's name that signed Okada, and he signed with it could have been Will Ospreay. They signed over there. It could have been Adam Copeland had he waited a little longer. He ended up signing late. So what is it that you wanted them to do? Well, they brought in people from NXT and tried doing like a cross promotion to hype up the draft. That was the objective.
From their developmental brand? They brought in people from the developmental brand. to try to pop.
because they're
admitted it. Okay.
Because they're reminding you who they are because they're about to get drafted in a couple weeks.
Roxanne and Ilya, they're getting drafted, and they've already said they're about to give him a mega push.
Braun,
so it makes sense
too, I think.
to have him on Raw. Just how they did with
stars.
Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker before they got officially signed. They brought them up to show them.
I gotta introduce
now
it to
we
you.
go from talking about the old farts to talking about NXT nobodies.
Because we're talking about the next generation, and that's all Triple H
That's my
focus
point,
on.
though, Kenny, with you, because now they're nobodies. But before you say that they don't build no stars, how else are you supposed to build new stars?
Yeah,
Not on the Raw after WrestleMania when you're supposed to be giving us these big shock surprises and just going crazy.
We
with
just
new
got the big
storylines,
shock
making us
surprises the
excited
night
to watch
before,
the
bro.
next show. We got
and
nothing.
Look, there doesn't need to be any surprises. Just don't waste our time. That's my main gripe with
No
Raw.
surprises.
Don't waste our
Don't
time.
waste our time.
Thank you.
So look at this opening segment we had with The Rock and Cody Rhodes. Yo, you got The Rock in the ring, and you
You
give
didn't
us
like that? You didn't like that?
I didn't like what?
You didn't like the opening segment?
No. Let me hold yours. Ooh, I like yours. This is a big one. You want to hold mine? Yeah.
Don't break my heart again, boy.
The crowd
Hey,
chanted
yo,
for
Brian.
the first time ever. This is awkward.
Yo, Brian,
And The
you
Rock
ain't
was in
sent
the
him.
ring.
You ain't sent him the clip that I sent you the other day.
Nah, I ain't get this in the
What? Cody Rhodes going in the ring being like, "Let me hold your championship," from back in the day.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to remember that.
No, we're not. We're not supposed to remember, but it's obviously
What
an
kind of
Easter egg.
storytelling is this?
Dude. And I said this on my stream. You were there, Brian. Have you ever seen the movie called Heat?
No, I never seen it.
Al Pacino.
I
None of you guys
I ain't see it, but I know where you're going with this.
All right. All right. You remember I said this the other day,
Yes,
Brian.
yes,
I have
that's
to
what I
bring
know.
it up. All right. Let me put a movie that everybody's seen, The Dark Knight. All
One of the
right.
best movies of all time.
Joker and Batman, they were in a room that you could drop what was it? You could hear a needle in a haystack or whatever the saying is. And they had an encounter just to set up a future meetup, right? Because that's all it was. They were just there talking. Batman could have killed Joker right then and there, and he did it. He just talked to him because he was trying to get information out of him, and Joker was trying to do something to get him to react. That's all The Rock came out to do. He was just out there to set up, plant a seed. Why does it have to be an all-out? We already saw The Rock whoop his ass on his bus and blood and all that. We just saw him whoop his ass at WrestleMania. Why do I need to see that The Raw after Mania to make it cool?
Nah, he doesn't have to put his hands on him at all. But you need to make us excited for the next time you come back. When he came out there and cut that promo when he said, "Now go smoke some more crack." Boom. I can't wait to see what The Rock does next. We didn't get that moment on the Raw to WrestleMania. He put something in his hand, so sure, you're like, what was that in his, what did he put in his hand? But
I just think that from what I'm hearing, we haven't talked a whole lot, right? But from what I'm hearing, it just feels like you're not in the mind space of Triple H's point of view, like the psychology that him and his team put together and what they're trying to go for, because the only people that can truly sit there and be like, oh, the Raw after Mania was awful, if they haven't looked at Triple H's track record. What did Triple H do? Brian was there too. Did you go to the Royal Rumble? Were you disappointed with the Royal Rumble?
No, Kenny went Rumble.
All right, were you disappointed?
No, it was cool.
That shit was super all in house.
I went out there like, all right.
Yeah, there were no
that shit
surprises
made it
there
even better.
from Legends or nothing. It actually disappointed me a little bit. I'm like, damn, I
Yeah,
want to see
Brian
some
was
Legends.
disappoined for the lack of Legends. I didn't even notice it when I walked out of there.
Yeah,
I was like,
because me, bro,
no.
I'm from like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was my first Rumble. You want to see somebody to make you pop that you haven't really seen.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
look, I
well,
didn't even. I was going to add this. I didn't care about the Legends either. I thought the match sucked. It was just badly booked.
The men's match sucked. I thought the women's.
I thought some of the numbers,
the Rumbles were
at
like
the time
boring.
that Superstars came out sucked. Like Andrade coming out so early, like that to me sucked.
I would have saved. I would have saved Andrade because they didn't have any surprises. So Andrade should have came at least in the middle or near the end. But they wanted to do the whole Spanish, everyone being Spanish in the ring at the same time. They wanted to get that shit out the way early.
Yeah,
I didn't like Sammy coming out last. I'm gonna be honest.
Right,
I thought The Rock was not coming out.
Justin Irvin says we're talking in circles. So let's talk about Will Ospreay. Because you guys didn't like this either. Y'all said this was wrong and it shouldn't. Oh, Justin, just to let you know, that's what we don't care about, but I just use that to transition. But what did y'all think about what Will Ospreay had to say?
All right,
did y'all think it was a good spot on the show? Did y'all think it was a problem?
So
let's start with Lex.
Okay, go ahead, Lex.
Yeah, Brian, you be quiet for a minute.
Wait. What? You want me to do it?
No, let us know how you feel. What's your perspective on the Will Ospreay and Triple H situation?
Nah, I'm gonna throw it to Kiro because we've been running him over so much. Let Kiro talk.
You can't run over Mr. Valentine.
Let's go.
I think I get in there when I feel the need to. Look, man, Will Ospreay, I mean, it just proves Triple H right. Like, what did Triple H say? We don't like people who don't really have too much passion and who doesn't want to work, all the time, just once a week. And that's what Will Ospreay does. And granted, that's exactly what I would have done as well. Like, give me that much money to work once a week and you pay for my plane tickets from England to America every single week. Hell yeah, boss. What do you want me to do? I'm going to cut a promo. Like, I'm just going to cut a promo. I'm not even going to do a match. All right. And most of the weeks. I mean, like, sometimes he wrestles. And I'm going to do the exact same thing I was doing in Japan. Change absolutely nothing about myself. Don't need to work on anything else. All right, man.
Exactly.
No girls?
He's been there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I get what he's saying.
What do you mean?
He's shown up at AEW other times too, and he's literally doing what he's always done. He's just this middle finger cool guy that he's a badass. And I like Will Ospreay. I actually mess with him. I think he's great in the ring, and he's pretty solid on the mic. But have you seen his promos in New Japan? He's like, all he does is curse and say bro every other sentence.
Do that on American
and he
TV,
screams all the time, no intonation or whatever.
So you guys want him to completely change his character. I'm an AEW now. Time to change my character.
I want him to be an Italian.
No, but it's called adapting.
Yeah,
He's
it's all.
adapting. He's doing what he does, and he's going to learn as he goes. Now he can cut a promo. So y'all saying he can't cut a promo?
Who said that?
I'm
Wait,
not
who
gonna
said
go,
that?
Nah, I'm
better
not
than
gonna go
Cody
that
Rhodes
far.
promo.
I think he's
Let's
very.
go ahead and put that out there. His
Nah.
promo feels better.
Who
than
said
Cody
he could have cut a promo
I
though?
think
How are
his-
you putting words in my mouth?
I
Well,
think his
what do
promo-
y'all want him to do? That's what I'm trying to figure out. He's coming out there doing the same thing he's always done. For one, he's been in AEW for like 3 weeks. So what do you want him to do?
All right, he's been in AEW for like a month already, and he's cut like how many promos? 2, 3 promos, and he's had like 1 or 2 matches. And his match, the one that I saw against, I think Shibata or Shibita, or whatever his name is, that was a good match. I think his matches have been good. I think his there is nothing to complain
I
about.
disagree. These
Oh.
matches are bad. He's just doing the New Japan style. Exhibition match every single time. No storyline.
Okay.
That's
No
true though. You're right. Nah,
storyline.
you're right about that. You're right
You're
about
right.
that. You're
You're
right. You're right.
Like, what are we
There is
supposed
no
to
story.
get hooked onto?
The issue with Will Ospreay is, and Kenny and I have spoke about this before, I don't think the guy knows how to have a TV match yet. Every time he goes out and wrestles, it's like to do some like crazy spots, which by any means is cool to watch as a viewer, but as a wrestling fan, somebody who's in tune and watches every week, you're kind of like, all right, dude, like when you see the spot on AEW television, it doesn't feel as special at that point because you feel like you repeatedly see the same spot. Just how Cody Rhodes and The Rock made Cody Rhodes bleed, and it felt cool because it was on WWE TV, and you very, very rarely see the blood being used on TV. But I don't want to transition over there just to come back to AEW. That's just what it is, bro. It feels like there has to be some sort of pace. And right now, Will Ospreay is an amazing wrestler, but I just feel like he has to find that TV pace.
No,
you're right, and
you're right.
That's why those 3-minute matches are definitely necessary. Those 3-minute matches, like WWE will do, AEW has to find out that that's necessary a lot of times. You can't go over there putting 10-minute match after 10-minute match without no stories. So I mean, that is my problem with AEW. So I'm not saying everything is perfect over there, but my problem with you guys had a problem with was saying that Will Ospreay should not have taken this shot at Triple H on TV.
Oh no, I can go. I can talk about that right now.
Yeah, Brian Brian, you said you like that, right?
No, I like the shots. I like them taking shots, but my issue with it is right taking TV time to do it. I don't know if the whole point of this promo was to do that. You know what I'm saying? To take a shot at Triple H, which by any means. You feel how you feel, go ahead. I understand why Will Ospreay would feel that way. Somebody's telling him he's running from the grind. We talked about this yesterday. If somebody offers you a job, of course, you're going to take the job with more money and where you work less. Me personally, but if somebody tells me, hey, you get to work 3 times a week and I'm paying you way more, no brainer. Of course, I'm going to take that. So Triple H comments, stupid in its own way. Stupid in its own way. But at the end of the day, I do get to a degree what he was saying, which was if you want to be a superstar, this is the platform for you to be a superstar. Your schedule is going to be tighter, though. If you want to take more money and not grind to be the gigantic superstar that you could potentially become here, you go to AEW. You go to that business. But Will Ospreay going on TV and shooting at him, it is what it is. I'm just a firm believer that you see WWE, they might do little subtle things here and there, but it's never, I just feel like they do. AEW goes on TV to deliberately shoot on WWE. If AEW went ahead and did this on the internet or whatever the case is, I put this in the chat earlier, WWE, they put a pre-sale code called All WWE, which is taking a little subtle shot or whatever. They didn't take nobody went on TV and shot at them. So that's just my point. I just think that you really got to focus on what's going on over there before you just start literally shooting on live TV. No. I even think, based on Renee's expression, I even think she was embarrassed. She wasn't even embarrassed. She looked embarrassed. She just looked like dog. Like
before he said that.
Yeah, she does that all the time. She does that. She tries to like exaggerate the moment because she's not going to stand there stiff. She needs to have some sort of reaction because she ain't going to look dead on screen.
You guys are pushing that as a narrative, and
no, that's not true. I think Renee was fine. I think Renee was fine.
All right, man. Whatever y'all think. But
Triple H, why is he sitting? You're promoting WrestleMania, your biggest show of the year. Why is he taking shots at Will Ospreay during these?
Didn't they ask him something for him to reply that?
And what's the professional way to respond to that?
He did it more professionally than how AEW handled it.
He
didn't say no names.
Well, you take a shot first. You're going to take back what I give you.
And then again, bro,
AEW didn't say names either.
Then again, AEW shoots at WWE all the time, all year round. So just because they wanted to they wanted to go on ahead and kick AEW while their parade was going on.
Oh well.
That's
what they do.
But
Second rate.
WWE is a monster. Like, why are you spitting on ants? Like, if you're the winner in the game, what are you doing? Why are you responding to them at all?
How did he
It's like
spit on
you,
him though?
Brian. You got
Please.
what, like aren't you approaching like 6,000 subscribers?
Yes.
Big shouts out to Brian, y'all.
Appreciate
That's like
that.
a guy who has 2 subscribers and 2 views on his videos saying, just Brian sucks. And you getting on your pedestal saying, this guy right here, guys, let me tell you about him. It doesn't make sense. Like, why are you even doing that? You're winning. This guy's losing. So why are you going to even acknowledge him?
Because context is key, and they talked to him about it. He was answering questions. He's at a presser. He's at a media day. I mean, this is something that's like super normal.
But he went super deep into the situation.
dude?
Did he
But
say
he
bro-
gave them a
did he-
legit
did he say
answer.
bro-
Unlike Tony Khan, who answers nothing. How was your
Look,
day today, Tony? I can't
Professional.
answer that. I signed an
Kenny,
NDA for
though.
that.
Professional. You might not
Let's-
like it, but it's professional.
Kenny,
It's clean.
It's not professional. It's not
Kenny.
He could have
professional.
went out and blasted CM Punk, but it was clean. I'm not talking about it.
Kenny,
you know?
but if you feel right, like something that someone said, if something ruffled your feathers, then it applies to you. If it doesn't ruffle your feathers, then it didn't apply to you, right? Because you didn't put no mind to it, you didn't care what they said, because it's not applying to you. In this case, I took what Triple H said as more of a general statement, right?
Actually, yeah,
Bruv.
same. Exactly
Did he not
same.
say bruv?
Huh?
He said bruv, right?
No, he didn't.
Why would
Okay.
Triple H say bro? I don't
Then
know.
I'll-
Then
that's
again,
the way
I
you
blame
did
this
it.
all on
He said
Twitter, bro.
bruv.
Because
I think-
Twitter made this about Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
Bro, he was
because
talking about
people.
Will Ospreay.
And I
I'm sure he
blame
was.
AEW for
100%
giving a crap
talking
about
about
this, man. You guys
sure.
like the words and stuff
For
that
sure.
they throw around, but AEW should give no crap about that.
Yeah.
Focus on their own show, fix their own show, and then
don't.
Kenny, your argument would be valid because then WWE is like, oh, we can make better shows. AEW is killing it over there. We're insulting them. We're making ourselves look bad now. Then your argument would be correct. But
Exactly.
instead of ignoring and doing better show, AEW is like, no, they said this about me. We're
Yeah.
passionate too. Come on, man.
Yeah,
My life
no.
is in danger.
Kenny, like what was it, like a day or two, or I think no, the same day that CM Punk hadn't even finished the podcast with Ariel Helwani, it was already trending online when Sammy Guevara tweeted out, "Thank you AEW," or "This is such an
life" or something like that.
yeah, this is the best place in the world. And he started talking about AEW like if it was Disney World, and then a bunch of other wrestlers and employees started like, if you're cool, you don't have to
As they
go out there and
should.
put you don't have to put hashtag I'm cool. I'm just cool.
Just because CM Punk said that, Tony fired 10 people the day
No,
off.
no, that's not true. That's a narrative.
It's just
That's
coincidence.
not
I
true.
don't
That's a
think that was
narrative.
like,
That's not how that works.
but that's the same thing
Didn't he
with
say he wouldn't
everything
fire
else.
people? Didn't he say he would fire people instead of let their contracts run and let them go
But
gracefully?
as we know, business changes. You know,
Yeah,
you can-
no,
I can
they have
say
to
something
evolve
small,
into
like
it.
I'll never do this, but then we get
That
down
was the
line,
first
we-
ever time they've
we gotta-
released people. Very, very big coincidence.
Well, because
So y'all think CM
they-
Punk did that interview and then he called the meeting
No,
like,
no.
everybody, we gotta meet
I've
up.
said this
We're
before.
releasing 10 people.
No. I've
I
said this
wouldn't believe-
before.
I
I
wouldn't
don't
believe
think.
it.
I don't think it has nothing to do with it. Even though Tony Khan is a kid with money, but I don't think it has anything to do with it. I think it was a coincidence. I just find
No.
it funny that it's on the same exact day, dog. That's all.
Well, I think we'll
You could have hold up. You could have been a boss and said, release them tomorrow or hold this off right now. I don't think it's a coincidence. Based on how Tony Khan acted on Twitter earlier, I'm not checked out what he's doing lately, but earlier, dude, in like last 2-3 years, he was an absolute joke. It was the same as each and every single Twitter troll you see.
yeah,
and
replying to everybody. Yeah,
so I wouldn't put him past him. I wouldn't put it past him.
I think that
Bro did not listen to what CM Punk said. Call a meeting and fire 10 wrestlers.
No, I
don't think so neither. I think it's just funny that it happened on that same day, but I don't think that's the case.
or the
Exactly.
same
So
week of
they-
WrestleMania.
No, that's crazy.
I think, dude, that again, back to like what I was saying earlier, that context is everything. At the end of the day, Triple H gave that the reply that Triple H gave. It's for Will Ospreay. It's for Okada. It's for I don't know who else you want to mention, but every single person that has signed with AEW, what have they all said in common? More
The
creative
schedule's right
freedom.
and there's money.
That's it. Everyone
More
says the
creative
same
freedom.
thing.
Which
could've
is
been-
fun. Which is
He could have
fine.
been. He could have been talking about Mercedes Moné for all we know, because they were in negotiations as well. You know, I'm just not gonna automatically assume, oh yeah, Triple H, and Triple H already admitted this, that with his new position, he doesn't even keep track of all these people, that he has people around him that keep track of all these names and put it on his desk. Do you think that Triple H is gonna be like, oh man, yeah, that Will Ospreay boy, he is really one lazy son of a gun for going to AEW. He doesn't want to be a big star. Screw him.
That's
Come
pretty
on,
much
bro.
what he said.
But he's not talking just about him. He said, if you want to be the biggest star, you want to be the biggest you can be, you come here. This is where we're at. This is what we're doing.
I gotta agree with Lex. I think that the reason it was taken out of context because who was the latest guy to say that?
Yeah.
Will Ospreay. So
Pretty
people's
much.
heads went straight. Even my head went straight to, oh damn, he's shooting at Will Ospreay right now. That's how I took it. Originally when I saw it. But if you look at everybody who spoke about AEW, lighter schedule, more money. And like I said, at the end of the day, of course, as a wrestler, you're going to take that job. You get to conserve your body, work less. You get to spend more time with your family, make more money. Hey, man, everything is in your favor. But I also understand what Triple H is saying. That is ultimately the bigger platform. If you want to be a star, you want to be at WrestleMania, you go to WWE.
Come here. Exactly.
Okay, but if you want to make money, you go to AEW. Guess what?
No.
I want to make the money.
You can still make money in WWE. It just depends how much you want,
If I'm going to make more money in AEW and spend more time with my family, I'm going to AEW. And I respect the men who decide to be with their family more.
Yes.
Make that money. So shouts out to Will Ospreay.
That's the short game, though, dog. We're talking about long term here. AEW.
That's like corporate. Like, this is what these jobs will do to you. Do you want to be this? Do you want to be that? Well, you come work for us for less money.
At the end of the day, bro, if you want to be a star, it depends though on the legacy you want to leave. If you want money, by any means,
that your legacy matters.
By any means, if
that
you want,
money is what matters because you can build generational legacy.
If you want to make a lot of money, by any means, I don't care. Go ahead and make your money.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a generational star, you want to be you want to be a Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the perfect example. He probably would have gotten paid millions in AEW to stay. But what did he do? He went to WWE and became the biggest star in the wrestling industry aside from Roman Reigns.
And guess what? If he decides to leave WWE right now because he wants to spend more time with his daughter, Tony Khan's going to pay him more than he's making in WWE to come back.
And he's an idiot for that. I mean,
because they have money to blow and they got to do something to try to survive and stay relevant. You're right, but guess what? AEW may not even be AEW may not even be around in 5 years, and that's just the truth of the matter. The only way
I want it to be around, but
that's more on Tony Khan. That's more on Tony Khan.
No, it is on Tony Khan, but at some point you got to stop the bleeding because if you're going to keep turning around negative $30 million profitable years like that, they're under $30 million in the last year. That's embarrassing.
Fight Forever is also.
Hey, when you start up a new business, you're going to lose money.
For 5 years in a row?
Isn't cheap.
For 5 years in a row.
30 million, 5 years.
The way Tony's handing out money, it's his fault. It is his fault.
Really. Dude, they could, if they had, oh my God, bro, if they had the structure that TNA now has adapted, that they're doing so much with so little. They have a small roster. They go to small venues. They record shows all in one sitting. They record like 4 episodes worth of Impact for the entire month, literally in one weekend, right? To cut budgets and save money. And guess what?
They would die.
Huh?
They would die.
Who, AEW?
You put yourself in a smaller building and recording 6 shows every week and just running.
No, that's not what he's saying. I'm saying that.
But that's not what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying that if they would have structured their come up needed to be organic. By the way, that's my wife, Lady Lex. I donated $2. I can't believe she said that.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
If you look at what TNA is doing, you got to look at the concept. What I'm saying, you're not gonna just blow up because you sign Edge. Yeah, you're gonna get the views for that week, but it doesn't mean that people are gonna come back to watch your product, bro. You gotta build towards those things. You gotta build upward. How are you gonna tell me that AEW has already peaked in 2019 when it was literally their first year?
Yep.
No, they had a good 3-year run.
They went like right? After 2022,
take out the pandemic. Take out the pandemic.
WWE has some bad years too. I mean, y'all act like they were just all Skittles and rainbows for WWE.
Nobody said that.
AEW
had the budget. A young company, 5 years old.
How do you put words in our mouth?
If AEW had the budget of WCW, you would have died in the first 2 years or something like that. You would have ran out of money already.
And don't put words in our mouth. You're doing it again.
We ain't got to worry about it.
You're doing it again, though. You're putting words in our mouth. WWE has been around for so long that, of course, you're going to have bad years. You're going to have losing seasons. You can't win a championship every year in sports. And in this case, entertainment, same thing. You're not going to have fans following you. Huh?
Now go ahead.
So all I'm saying is that if you were to give TNA half of the budget that AEW has right now, I mean, they'd be killing it even more. And I'm not saying that AEW needs to go wrestle at high school gyms. I think that they need to look at the fact that they already have a deep roster, bro. I've said this so many times on my channel. They have one of the best rosters ever assembled in terms of talent. Huh?
My bad.
Shout out assemble. You know what I'm saying? They've put together this amazing group of people, and they're all being terribly utilized. They could do so much more. Haven't we been crying about guys like Cesaro that they were being misused in WWE? Didn't we say, oh, Cesaro's being trashed. He should have been singles champion already. It doesn't mean that you get to sign him and you give him the Ring of Honor TV title. That doesn't make him cool.
No, I agree with you. And I think y'all are kind of getting this mixed up. I'm not saying AEW is booking their shows in a good way at all, because you're right. They do have a great roster. They keep bringing more people in. The problem is they keep bringing more WWE people in. Where at the beginning we had a few WWE guys, but it was still like kind of being built around new guys before they started opening the floodgates, just like TNA did. So now the roster's over flooded. They got 3 shows a week, and they don't need to have 3 shows a week because they need to focus on one AEW Dynamite on Wednesday.
Same
in
thing
my
I
personal
say.
opinion. Take some guys, make some big stars. Take some women, make some big stars, and then you push your show forward. And if you need to in a few years, then you make show number 2. Show number 3 is going to be crazy for a while, but I think they need Dynamite, kill Collision, kill Rampage. Shouts out to all AEW fans who likes it, but right now it's not the time for it.
No, it's
all you gotta do.
Building their story and their characters.
All you gotta do is cancel Christmas on Tony Khan. That's all you gotta do, Dan. And your problems
I
will
think,
fix.
listen, I
I
think
think
the
that's the
issue.
problem.
I think Tony Khan needs to put his ego aside. If he doesn't have an ego, then whatever. But what I'm saying is,
Impossible.
he needs to
Impossible.
put something aside and hire somebody to help him with storylines, booking, everything. I'm like
Structure, man.
Yeah,
Structure.
didn't they sign this that lady that came with Mercedes Moné and she was supposed to help out the women's division? I forgot what her name was.
Yeah, and they signed a producer too. They signed also a producer that's supposed to keep them like in tune with like, I think like social media and all that, and like the community or some shit like that. Like they have definitely signed people to add to their staff to keep track and be tapped in with the community and be more aware, I guess. But
Tony makes the final decision. It's never gonna change,
tough, bro. It's just tough to take a company like I know, like AEW. I go to their shows. I drive to their shows. The problem with this is, bro, is that you see so many things like the Young Bucks, active wrestlers, and I get it. They help build the company, but it almost feels like I don't even know how to describe it, bro. But you got Bryan Danielson. He's the guy that gives you fines if you tweet on social media. Like, I don't think wrestlers should be in charge of that. I don't.
high school.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at it. Because if
what do you mean?
I was
He's
a
the
wrestler, I wouldn't
wrestler.
be mad if somebody in my position, because you know how I feel when I'm tweeting this stuff. If you feel like I, violated,
No
then you were
way,
in my
dude.
position before, so
You're
it makes
supposed
sense.
to work with that guy again. The same thing. We talk in circles, but we have to do it. Bryan Danielson is a wrestler. If he retires from wrestling and he becomes a backstage manager or whatever, sure, he can do that. But when you're wrestling, you're either the boys, you're with them, or you're not, dude. Same with Tony. Tony wants to be one of the boys. He's hugging them all the time.
Yeah.
But you can't be.
Come
You can't be.
on.
You're either a boss or you're with the
Triple H
boys.
had the pencil with Vince McMahon back then.
But guys, I hate to do this, but we gotta pivot up a little bit. Talk about some AEW Fight Forever.
All right, well, let's close it out proper.
Come on.
Okay.
So, at the end of the day, I love the back and forth. I don't see no problem with AEW throwing shots on their show. I don't see any problem with WWE throwing shots on their show. That's what it's for me. I like it. I don't mind the drama because when drama happens, things like this happen where we can come together and talk about it. So you guys, I know y'all don't understand and y'all always want to poo-poo AEW.
We know you don't understand.
There's a lot of good stuff that comes. Anything else I want to close out on, Lex, between this whole situation here?
Wait, what?
Anything you want to say to close out this situation?
Oh, man. What I always say a little too much, so I'm good. I think I said
Go
enough.
ahead. You can cook if you want.
No, I mean, dude, I feel like they rely so hard on taking the jabs at WWE because they are so uncreative. I don't even know if that's a word right now, but
Now we're taking shots at AEW. We're going
they
to
have because they have
we
no
get started again.
creativity, dog. They have no creativity. And if WWE was sitting here taking jabs at AEW, I'd be bashing them endlessly too. I hate when companies are focusing on other companies. Like that's like if Marvel movies came out here and they did what like they were looking at what DC was doing and copied them, or DC was copying. I don't want that. I'm watching DC for DC and Marvel for Marvel. I'm watching WWE for WWE, AEW for AEW. I want it to be whatever it is, to stay within that and build within that. I don't need you to take yeah, because you slept with the boss's daughter. That's why you got up there. You don't know my story, bruv. What? You're
In the meanwhile, we don't even know who he's feuding with. Bryan Danielson. Did he forgot to mention that.
Yeah, Triple H is literally one of the greatest heels of all time. Say what you want about the guy. He could be an ass kisser, one of the greatest heels of all time. You have no business to share to take a shot at that. Who are you? You ain't nobody. Like, let me ask you this, and I was waiting for you guys to finish. Each and every one of you can answer me if you want. How do you feel about, let's say, a guy like Zack Ryder? Matt Cardona.
I was all in for Woo Woo. You know it. I watched the show every week.
Me too.
Yeah, I liked it. But I like his new persona that he's trying to build.
Matt Cardona. What about you, Kira?
I liked him. I'm with him. I've been with him, yeah.
How does a guy that was as small as Zack Ryder get to have over millions and millions of followers? And I just checked Kenny Omega's Twitter till this date. He still only has 600,000 followers. How is that even like fathomable? If Kenny Omega clears Zack, now I'm not saying that Kenny Omega has the same charisma on the mic, especially over here in America, because obviously Kenny Omega struggles to cut a promo in terms of like reaching.
It's one of the worst I've seen.
And I love Kenny Omega, but he's a bad promo.
Yeah, but he didn't have that issue.
Cody Rhodes is a bad promo.
But he didn't have that problem in New Japan. But at the end of the day, what I'm bringing up here is like, you could bash WWE for so many things. You could bash the politics and all this shit, but they pump out stars even on their worst days. A guy like Zack Ryder gets to leave WWE with millions of followers and do what he's doing as Matt Cardona, because at the end of the day, people saw him get thrown off the stage on a wheelchair by Kane. You feel me? And
I don't agree though.
You don't agree with what? Well, which part?
You're giving WWE the credit for that, but Zack Ryder made Zack Ryder.
I'm not giving WWE the credit. I'm saying that platform, Zack Ryder did that on his own. He's a special class. Dolph Ziggler's another one. How about Dolph Ziggler, who's been on a massive losing streak? I love him too.
I love him. Guess what? Perfect wrestler.
Guess what? Let's look him up right now. He has more followers than so many people in AEW, and he's been so irrelevant.
That goes back to what I said earlier, like putting WWE NXT up against AEW. These guys were not established stars in America.
Dude, but neither were the people in NXT, for that matter.
Adam Cole was being established in NXT for a long time.
But he never went to the main roster, though.
Yeah, he never made it to the main roster, bro. That's like Adam Cole.
That's
like Braun Breaker right now. That is like on the verge. Like that's where Adam Cole was at, in my opinion, on the verge.
Main roster. They said that was their third show.
Bro,
here we go again.
The sky is red, and you believe them too.
When people asked, when are you going to the main roster? They would say, well, I am on the main roster. That was what they were saying back then.
Yeah.
And that's fine. They can say that all they want, but at the end of the day,
how can you
You say that because it's show business. You don't go into show business.
Exactly.
You're not going to tell you're not going to tell your audience. You're not going to tell your audience that's the lesser show when you want them to catch viewership.
Oh, like that's a development show. Okay, I'm not going to watch it then.
Let me ask you a question. Rampage, right? Rampage, I don't watch Rampage, but AEW, Rampage is clearly not their main show. That's their minor show. AEW will never go out there and say, "Oh, our minor show, Rampage," because of them, it's not.
Tony Khan did.
Tony Khan said that.
Yeah, no. He was saying it was his A show. So you're right.
Like,
Exactly.
you just can't
Like, even Tony
you
Khan
gotta treat
doesn't.
every
Yeah.
show evenly, even though, like I said, the casual viewer might not be able to tell the difference because they don't know who's who.
Oh,
But
no,
us,
no, no,
we're
no. I
in
don't
tune.
agree
We
with that.
watch
I don't agree.
every week.
Because you're slapping that developmental term on when it's on TV. I don't
Well,
agree with that.
2.6 million followers is what Dolph Ziggler walked away with from WWE.
2.6
Imagine
mil.
2.6
Then Dolph
million.
Ziggler did that for himself because he's a
Ha!
comedian.
Oh my
He goes out
god!
and he builds himself up. You get your platform, your name in WWE, and then
Isn't
you
he
have
like
to go out
a
and bring it
terrible
up
comedian
yourself.
though?
Yeah, all right. So he's a comedian. You
Hey,
mean to
but look
tell
at
me
Dave
that he
Chappelle
got,
followers. How much does he
dude?
have? How much does Kevin Hart have? How much does? Come on, bro.
Dude, you mean to tell me that Dolph Ziggler got millions of followers thanks to his comedy? Are you
Thanks
serious?
to him, he built his platform. He built his kingdom. He used WWE's
Wrestling
platform
in the
to grow his name.
WWE.
I mean,
Well,
If
thank
WWE
you.
didn't exist, he wouldn't have 2.6 million followers.
it's the platform,
In
bro.
AEW,
They build stars. Like, Kenny gets this misinterpreted, right? Because we'll
Yeah.
talk, and then he'll be
a
like,
message here from Mr. Omer Q, who says, "Can you tell them AEW will be profitable by their next TV deal?"
wow.
"Congrats."
So saying they're going to go under is so wild because again, it's a building company. When they get that next TV deal, it's going.
How much are they gonna get paid though, bro? I mean, you barely getting 800.
Hey, I'm
You
not
gotta
in the
top CM Punk
negotiations,
footage.
but they're going to come through.
You know what I'm saying? But that,
But
like,
I just don't understand wrestling fans as a whole. These people in the chat too, because why would you want AEW to go under? I do not understand.
Neither do I.
We
Y'all
don't.
Neither do
Nobody
I.
says that, Kenny. Nobody
Oh,
says
you're
that,
an
man.
AEW guy. You're pro
You're putting
AEW.
stuff in our mouth again.
Kenny,
Very
Kenny.
naughty.
One company.
Yeah,
I
Kenny,
don't-
you're
nah,
doing it
bro,
again.
I never said that. I
Somebody's
just
got
said.
a lot of
I
flying,
just
yo.
said 5 minutes ago that I don't want AEW to go away because at the end of the day,
Kenny.
I feel like they started something. WWE
We're not
product, the
talking about
product
these
has been
things,
better
right?
ever since.
Just
Kenny,
because of the
it's still
competition,
AEW.
we doesn't mean we can't criticize
Yeah,
them. We're gonna
no.
criticize them if they
I
make a
tried-
wrong
I
move.
criticize
Just like the
WWE.
I'll tell you when
I
WWE is
do it.
crap.
WWE.
But Tony Khan keeps doing things like this and putting himself on the mainstream line doing this stuff. That's the reason why we're talking about him right now. If Tony Khan didn't
Tony
do this, we might
Clown.
just be talking about Will Ospreay and the Triple
All right,
H.
WrestleMania Night 1 was whack. Why didn't we talk about
And-
that?
Whack
because
to who?
AEW
Why
To
didn't we
you?
get on camera and talk about?
All right,
I
all
didn't
right.
make a video called WrestleMania
Look,
Night 1 was garbage.
That it was whack to you?
I was in the building. Everybody out there was dead. The crowd
It was
dead.
underwhelming to me, and I
It was
told you,
dry.
Lex, I admit it.
Dry.
But,
Hey,
but
if
at the
I
end of
was
the
there,
day,
I didn't feel that way at all.
It was
I was
a
at my house
finale.
like I was
It
tripping
wasn't
at my house.
WrestleMania.
but at the end of
Huh?
the day, bro,
It wasn't WrestleMania?
at the
It
end of
was.
the
I
day,
would
Night
agree
did
with-
not feel like WrestleMania.
Look, I would
Lex,
agree with that, but it was still good. It was
See,
still good.
Lex
It just didn't feel
Lex
like
ain't gonna-
WrestleMania.
He's not going to down WWE.
Lex,
y'all.
Lex.
We got it.
I'm
listen
not gonna
to me.
down WrestleMania, but I'll down WWE. You just haven't been there when
Tell me
I've
some
downed
problems
them.
going on with WWE right now, Lex.
What? Some problems going on right now.
Yeah, give
The
me some
women, Rhea Ripley has done what with her championship outside of Judgment Day? What has Rhea Ripley done as a champion through the year except for
WWE's
what?
been. I just got to ask to clarify. So they haven't been telling good stories with Rhea Ripley. Triple H
With-
hasn't been utilizing his women's champion correctly.
I kept saying Judgment Day within that sentence because that's where she's being utilized, and that has been her strength amongst men. But she hasn't elevated the women's division.
I agree.
She's put
so-
that title on the show with other men to create recognition for that belt and some kind of respect amongst men. But amongst women, she's looking like Roman Reigns, but 10 times worse. Everybody was crying about Roman burying everybody. She hasn't had. Who was her real opponent? Nia Jax? Psst, come on, that was like her most solid feud. And then before that, it was Raquel Rodriguez. And now they're putting her up. They're putting up against Liv what's her name?
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan. That's been brewing, but she got injured. I mean, she hasn't done shit. And I love Rhea Ripley. I love Judgment Day, and I love the way she's been represented. But when you want to compare to the women's division, I think it's been trash. I think it's been a step backwards.
Okay, so Triple H doesn't know how to book his women's champion.
I think
that's one thing. I appreciate
No, I didn't
that.
even say that. You put that in my
Listen,
mouth.
He didn't book Io Sky good.
Oh no, you're right about that. All right,
Okay,
I'll agree.
you're
Right, all right. So we could agree.
So maybe Triple H just he don't know how to do it yet. Well, I'll even agree. Io Sky was underwhelming to me too. I didn't like her reign.
I think
Io Sky's reign was trash.
But then again,
Okay,
I can't blame it on her. A lot of the women on SmackDown just weren't available.
It's
They
not,
were
yeah,
injured
and it's
too.
not.
Not
It's
about
not
that.
just on Triple H, man. Triple H is trying to make this shit.
Oh, now it's
appeal.
not just on Triple H. Oh my
No,
goodness.
hold on.
He's
Hold.
the Tony Khan
All
of
right,
WWE.
dude.
Come
All
on
right,
now.
dude. All right. So it is on Triple H because the
Okay.
problem is what sells the product. It's not women, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know how many feminists are out
I
there.
don't know, bro.
It's not women. No, man. You could have your little goof
I
troop
went
that
to
is
the
going to
Royal
act
Rumble
like
to see
the.
Jade Cargill.
You could. All right, bro.
I went to night one. I bought my night one tickets because Jade Cargill was coming. Brian, am I lying?
There's
you're not lying.
there's an exception for like what, a handful of women in the business, but you're not going to have those handful of women competing every single night. So at the end of the day, once Jade comes out and she does her thing, what else is left for the women's division at that point? Not a whole lot. And that's the case.
Because Triple H can't book it correctly.
Oh,
So that's all I asked you to do was just tell me.
Does AEW book it correctly? Because you like to do
No.
this too. You like to go back and forth. I like to go back and
Brian,
forth.
can you give me something wrong with WWE booking?
No,
Like, I don't like
listen,
WWE.
Kenny. I've said it before, dog. Rhea Ripley not booked correctly, and I think that she desperately needed this win against Becky Lynch to even make her title reign something. Io Sky wasn't booked well neither. Their women's division, I'll say this. Triple H has built stars under that women's division, but the titles and the title scene has not been ran well over the past year for the women's. It's been underwhelming. I didn't think Sami Zayn was the guy to beat Gunther. I'll say it again. I didn't think he was supposed to be. There's many problems that I'll go out there and admit about WWE, but they're not as groundbreaking as some of these AEW things have been.
What AEW story can we talk about right now? There is nothing.
Oh, wait, Kiddo, I got to ask you first. Can you tell me something negative about WWE?
Oh, come on. You asking Carol, bro? He's more negative than me.
Kiddo will cook. I know.
Yeah, I mean, where do we even talk about? Sami Zayn was one of my big contention points. It's like he's acting like he's the greatest guy ever when he took over Chad Gable's spot, and like they missed his moment there at WrestleMania. But at least they gave something to us. At least they built up a story, even though it was super short. Like the builds to WrestleMania, most matches besides Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns happened in like 3 weeks. Okay, here's your build. Good luck. Jay and Jimmy Uso. Oh my God, one of the worst matches I've ever seen. But even at least that had a story.
I just think that WWE, even at their worst, they still clear AEW. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is.
They've been doing this for years. Triple H has been in the business for years.
Exactly.
So I know.
AEW
To
is a
me,
new company with more maneuverability.
That's why I think to me, like, it's a boring to me, it's a boring conversation. I can't sit here and talk all stream or all podcast or all video for that matter. Oh yeah, WWE. I can't. That versus shit doesn't exist in my brain because there's just
y'all just brought up the verses. I was asking y'all to talk about
we've been doing it for
to me. No, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you directly. I'm talking about the internet, the wrestling community, dude. I think it's AEW versus AEW. I think it's Tony Khan.
The tribalism is insane. I'm not gonna lie.
And I'm just like, dude, like, how old are we? Are we not realizing that this is just like WWE is like not just far ahead, they're just something completely different. AEW, if you listen to Tony Khan and you listen to his takes and his replies when he gets butthurt when people don't agree with his booking, he says, oh, you need to get out of that box. You need to see other kinds of pro wrestling. There's different kinds of pro wrestling.
I agree with that. I agree with that because when AEW does something different from WWE, people say, well, that's not how you do it. Well, this isn't WWE.
That's not true.
Growing up,
I can give you a simple example. The stage design.
Years old.
The stage design of AEW, people love that. And people are sad that they're now becoming more WWE. The records, people love that. Wasn't in WWE. They couldn't do it. They're turning it back to how it is in WWE now. Like they're barely mentioning them ever. People don't like that. That was different from the WWE.
Because it was a joke. Because
WWE tried that too. Records just don't work in wrestling.
The rankings and records do not work. I hate rankings.
Don't work in wrestling.
Why
WWE
rankings in AEW, I don't know. Because, again, rankings just got brought back, and Mercedes Moné hasn't wrestled one match yet. But all of a sudden, she's in the TBS Championship match.
That's even worse.
Like that just don't make sense, man. Just don't bring them back.
You should know from the beginning. Okay, you made one mistake. It didn't work. Why would you bring it back? At that point, you're kind of...
Yeah, you're doing it to yourself. You're doing it to yourself. I like rankings when like WWE would do it based on like rivalries or feuds or whatever, or like who's been on a hot streak. Like even like Karrion Kross, for example, he's made a name for himself even when he's lost. Or even Bray Wyatt back in the day, he was still kind of a main eventer. We saw him as a main eventer despite him losing like just about every big match he's ever had. Same for Seth Rollins like 2 years ago. We saw Seth Rollins facing Cody Rhodes and losing 3 times in a row, and that was probably one of his worst years wrestling. He probably lost as much as Dolph Ziggler and Dominic Mysterio, but we still saw him as a big time guy because it's just the way they're booked, bro. It's just the way that you see their characters kind of flow on screen and the airtime that they end up getting. And I just feel like AEW, they're not doing it like that. They want you to feel like this is combat sports, and that to me, bro, there is absolutely nothing more annoying. It's like a kick in the balls for me. You're not going to convince me that I'm here to watch, like New Japan, they do strong style so well, and the no sells to the chops and the super kicks and the flips, and then you get right back up like what they did to Sting in his retirement match.
Ooh.
Oh
my God.
Come on, bro.
Dude, critical hit. I will ask you one question. In what combat sports, MMA, judo, kickboxing, do you let your opponent hit you? You stand there and you say, come on, hit me. In what combat sport?
It's wrestling. Wrestling is fake.
Yeah.
We all know it's not real.
It's coordinated. It's a show. Yeah. So why are you trying to act like we're doing combat though? Because even in Japan, in Japan, they tell stories.
No, they don't. New Japan don't tell stories.
They don't tell stories through their press conferences and their little vignettes.
Oh, the press conferences and stuff.
They do better than AEW too, by the way.
Nah, but I've seen Zack Sabre cut a really good promo on during the press conference.
Yeah, they do their story time during press conferences and vignettes and like little shit like that, little interviews. That's their. I could tell you right now that the clips that I pay attention more to from New Japan that I actually enjoy, that I'm like, damn, I mess with that guy, is the press conferences. When I see that shit come across my feed, I actually sit there for like 5-10 minutes and I'm like, holy shit, WWE should look into this guy. Oh my God, this guy's really good.
Oh my goodness, like why should WWE look into this guy?
Because they're like the NBA of wrestling.
They're in the wrestling business.
They're like, oh, MJF's good. He needs to go to WWE
because they're the NBA.
Because they know what they know what platform it is, bro. Listen, Kenny, do you know what the Big Three league is?
Yeah. We got NFL, NBA, and NHL.
Thank you.
MLB.
No, that is listen, that is Ice Cube.
That's a whole league on itself.
That is Ice Cube's league. Yeah, Ice Cube basketball league, where he'll get like legends and veterans, and he might get right now. He offered Caitlin Clark one of the college stars $5 million. So he wants to go, and on the side, right? He's letting her go and play for the WNBA as well while giving her this money. Listen, this is the best example I could put out there. This is the best example I could put out there. There's the Big Three, and then there's the NBA. And
you know what I'm saying? That's just what it is.
I never heard of that before.
Big Three. Yeah, man. The Big Three.
There's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with them, but we understand that they are the stepping stone. That's why you see a lot of people go collect their money to AEW. No, they're a stepping stone, bro. You see a lot of people go and collect their money to AEW, and then you may even see people cross over. We already seen two of their biggest stars cross over. You've seen Jade Cargill and Cody Rhodes cross over.
But you don't want that as like, to me, for example, like I remember when Kenny Omega's contract was getting ready to expire, and as much as I want to see him in WWE, I actually have been on record and I said, man, it would break my heart to see a guy like Kenny Omega jump over to WWE, because if a guy like Kenny Omega jumps over and you got Cody Rhodes jumping over and you got CM Punk jumping over, I mean, they're pretty much dead at that point, because Chris Jericho ain't getting any younger. They just lost Sting.
Oh boy.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So
you know what? It's not. I won't say it's always that way, because I want to see Kenny Omega go to WWE. I want to see Adam Page go to WWE just because I think Adam Page is a WWE guy. I think he could be a bigger star than Cody Rhodes over there, to be quite honest with you. Kenny Omega, I just want to see him wrestle Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
Yeah. No, I would love to see Kenny there too.
I would love to see Kenny Omega and Seth Rollins. That to me would be amazing.
So I do think that, like, I stopped saying
y'all made some funny faces when I just said that. So y'all are telling me like
Adam Page is not him. He can't even get over his own company.
Oh, about Page. Yeah, Page.
Cody Rhodes cuts better promo than Hangman Page.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
200%.
Yeah.
I don't like Cody Rhodes too much, but
all right.
Hangman is way worse.
I'll take Cody with his little lisp over Hangman's out of Page, Mr. Cowboy shit. And I like
that Stone Cold babyface thing going on.
He tried.
That they said John Moxley had, but
no, listen, bro. Adam Page is cool, but like I don't think he can go to WWE and become like a huge star. I mean, if he does, shoot. I mean,
he could. I think anybody can.
Yeah, because Adam Page was way better in New Japan when he was presented seriously, and he wasn't wearing butterflies all the time. and drinking and being anxious like a little
And
teenager.
again, though, that's
Yeah.
where the creative freedom comes in, because I'm sure that he had the entire creation to make his own character that was not forced on him.
But with that
What-
being said, Seth Rollins needs to go to AEW and be their guy. They need to go. He needs to go over there and he needs to put the strap on him.
How is he
and
gonna
I think
save
he can
him?
build
How is
up.
he gonna save
I don't think he's
AEW?
gonna say him. I don't think the thing is, dude, that they could sign Jesus Christ himself, and I don't think that's gonna save them.
Come on,
I
man.
think
Jesus can build that building up.
The AEW champion.
Come on, bro.
They
Jesus
need.
Christ.
Listen,
They
Seth
need.
Rollins
They need.
Seth Rollins and AEW would be something else. But go ahead, Lex.
Seth
Sorry.
Rollins
No,
and
it
AEW would
won't.
be fire.
It's,
Lex, you're a WWE guy. After this
No.
conversation, hour and 30 minutes.
I've never shied away from that though. I've always said I'm
sure you came in with the AEW hat with the AEW strap.
because
but
I wanted
Double agent.
to show you that I am a fan of AEW. I've gone to multiple shows. I spent endless amounts on them. I have the game on multiple platforms. I enjoy their stuff, but I'm very, very picky as to what I spend my time watching outside of WWE, because I do it with WWE as well. I'm not a hypocrite. I've been covering WWE more lately because of the streams. I do the watch alongs and shit like that, but otherwise I wouldn't even be watching it live. Honestly, I'm not trying to lie to you. I don't like I don't like watching the shows live every week, but when I do the watch along, I have an excuse to do it, and then there's a different reason for it. So then I mess with it, and I'm in tune, and I do all that extra shit, which is what I've been doing with TNA and AEW. But I only like watching pay-per-views, and I like watching the stuff that I care about. Like I'm very picky with what I spend my time on. So if I'm gonna spend my time watching a 2-hour show, I'm gonna grill it, dude. You should pass by on one of my streams when WWE got some of the females fighting, or when we got Alpha Academy being funny. If I'm not laughing, I'm probably falling asleep on stream.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding, and we're
I'll be
talking
honest,
about WWE.
A lot of it is filler, bro, because they got to fill those 3 hours, and that's
Yeah,
what
they
affects the
do.
show.
And
Not
I'm like,
okay. That's not okay.
and
That's
I'm like,
okay.
this-
Not
That's
okay.
That's not
Yeah.
respecting my time.
and you know what I do? I say the same thing every time. Damn, dog, this 3-hour show. Damn, this shit's dragging. I mean, it was good like 2 hours ago, but damn, this last hour, I need to get to
And
11
Nick
o'clock. I'm
Khan
out of here.
wants to do 4 hours in the future. So I'm scared. Hopefully
Oh,
one day
yeah.
with the
I'm not doing 4
Netflix.
hours,
What?
bro.
He said 4 hours.
Back a couple of years back.
Hell
yeah.
no,
have
brother.
to
4
catch the
hours,
highlights,
bro.
bro.
Hell no.
Hopefully
Even
when they hit
longer.
Netflix,
Hop off.
there's no commercials and we can
Oh,
just go straight
He
2
didn't say
hours.
4 hours, but I want to make SmackDown 3 hours, something
Well,
like
I
that.
did hear
Like,
that Nick Khan said that
Oh, yeah,
the show
yeah.
will remain at 3 hours for the time remaining. We don't know till
Bro,
when, but even when it goes to Netflix, you telling me no commercials 3 hours?
They
That's
don't
a
have
long
to-
time.
You're cooked. You're
Nah,
cooked.
we're gonna get commercials because they're gonna do the WWE shop, get 25% off if you order right
Yeah.
now.
Same as in the pay-per-views, yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
when they started first doing the 3-hour shows, like after every segment. This is what happened early on in the night.
Yeah.
5-minute rerun. I'm like, oh, this is what we're looking at now.
Yeah, that shit's terrible. But you know, I definitely will say that, you know, as much as I love WWE and I'll give them a pass on certain things, I just like the production, bro. I'm a big production guy. I like the bells and whistles.
Top-notch.
Like I love, you know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing about it. The showmanship that comes from it. Because I love pro wrestling, but I just, if I'm gonna watch combat sports, I'm gonna watch UFC. I'll go watch some boxing from whoever's fighting. But you know, I just, you're not gonna tell me that this is supposed to be hard hitting action. And as much as I like guys like Eddie Kingston, even, huh?
I hate
You
Eddie
don't
Kingston.
like
You
Eddie
do?
Kingston.
Last
Damn.
things he does, bro.
I-
I know
yeah.
people love him, but not for me.
I like Eddie Kingston. I think he's dope. You know, I just feel
Right.
like
He is a dope, yeah.
the you got to do a flow, man. Like you could say whatever you want about the whole WrestleMania weekend or night one or whatever, and like Hero said, as bad as the Jimmy and Jay match was, you didn't agree with his story, what he was trying to tell, with the brothers like mirroring each other. If you didn't mess with that, you didn't mess with that. But there's a flow to it, dog. You understand the craziness. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we know that LA Knight and AJ Styles have to have a 5-star level like pro wrestling match because we already had the ECW, like the gimmicky match with the Dudley special guest referee. We already had the super kick finisher match with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, and then the cash in. So we knew that we were due for a real pro wrestling match. That's what the AJ match was, and that's what the Io Sky and Bailey was in night 2. You know, and then we had the Logan Paul, another little gimmicky match, which
Yeah.
was good. It had some good
I
spots.
liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. I think night
two was a
night
banger.
2,
I mean,
10 out of 10. I thought it was 10 out of 10 beginning
yeah, night two,
from
10 out of 10.
Carrying Cross, that ruins it.
You didn't like it?
That to me, that was the down point in the match. I'm just glad they didn't make it last too long. Like night 2 to me was
I thought it was fun.
It was
9
good,
out of
man.
10.
Night 2 for me, it was definitely over night 1. I did see Omer say, I don't know if he's here at this point, but he did say that the main event of night 2 with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns was very uncreative.
No, I loved it. I loved it. I loved how I thought it was perfect.
I'm done. Like
the devil.
Have everybody in the ring at the same time, but I like how they did it with one guy coming out and it's kind of
I personally liked it, man. But you know,
25.
If you don't like that, I don't even know why you're watching.
Bro, they had a 25-minute pro wrestling match, and then it turned into a movie of like cameos.
Yeah.
Like
personally, I liked it, bro. It was a good wrestling match.
They literally did all the things they needed to do. That was perfect.
Yeah,
They needed to do.
they hit all the notes. What else did you want from that match? You wanted like a technical submission match or something?
It was beautiful, bro. That's pro wrestling in a nutshell.
Exactly. No, it is. It is.
When that match went over, I was like, "That's wrestling. Like that's
yeah."
I
agree, man.
You got everything. You got
the
a good
moment
match.
it gave us as wrestling fans is just it was great. It was great.
That's the crazy thing is when John Moxley debuted in the very first pay-per-view or whatever, that's the same feeling I got when he was kicking ass.
Exactly.
Where is that gone in AEW, man? That's what I want. You know what I mean?
Man, bro, I just
like Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rose. That match in AEW.
Oh, that match
was
awesome.
That was great. That was great.
I need my brother.
But see, that's organic. Those are things that you like. You set it up right. You create the base and the platform for one of those moments, but you don't know if it's gonna hit till it hits.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not gonna say, you can't tell like Shinsuke and Nakamura, like, bro, that needs to be studied at WrestleMania. That shit was but you go look at the New Japan one, like the highlights, you're like, oh my God, this is like the greatest shit ever. Yeah. And then at WrestleMania it's like crickets, and you're like, oh, what's going on here? They're kind of doing similar stuff. Maybe they're not taking as many risks, but the flow just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And you know, that's just the beauty of wrestling, bro. There's something for everyone, is how I feel. That's crazy to me. You guys didn't like night 1. I mean, that makes me kind of sad because
I'm not saying I didn't like it. It was a PLE though. It didn't feel like WrestleMania. It felt like maybe a backlash or something.
To me, it's not that I didn't like it. It was just like going to the show and being at the show. It just felt like you know, maybe maybe like for me, like maybe some of the legend elements and making me pop out my seat, like maybe that would have done it for me. But I just felt like it just felt underwhelming. It was a good show, like good wrestling. The Rhea and Becky match, great match. Like the Jay and Jimmy, not too crazy, but I popped.
It was solid. It was all right. Cool. It was all right.
Like,
yeah, it was cool.
You know, it depends for what you were looking at.
Yeah, the video
match.
package was good.
Me personally, I didn't have any high hopes for that match because they both have the same moveset, for the exception of the spear. So like to me, it depends what you went in there like looking for. Me, I was just expecting just a regular old match, bro. Then the main event, cool too. Like it was a good wrestling show. It just wasn't.
Yeah, I just feel you're right. You hit the nail on the head. I just feel like night 1 was like the volleyball setup, and then night 2 was the spike.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that you have to build it like that, because unfortunately you can't have 2 night 2s, because then night 2 wouldn't hit the same.
I disagree with that. You could have had other stuff. The ladder match was awesome.
The ladder match was good. I missed it.
So hold on. So you mean to tell me, and you went for Jade, you mean to tell me that shit didn't hype you up? The Jade stuff wasn't like pure spectacle?
No. It was a generic match. She
gave her like
moves, lick her hand.
Okay,
but it's supposed to be. They could have given her more time, but she's clearly not ready. It was supposed to be more of a spectacle, bro. That's what WrestleMania is at the end of the day. For the most
that's
part.
what I'm saying. Night 1 just didn't feel like a spectacle.
It didn't.
That was my problem.
The main event didn't feel like a spectacle.
It was too long, and I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to draw it out, but when you were in that arena and the crowd was silent, it just kind of felt like.
Well, let me tell you, dog, because I've been to multiple WrestleManias and shit. By the end of the night, that's usually the case, unless it's
night 2, it was going crazy the whole time.
You know, it could have been different, and plus, at the end of the day, it's for the title. Like the stakes were a lot higher in night 2. You know, but what I was gonna say is that if the build is not like the stakes are through the roof, I don't think that you're gonna get the kind of like what you're talking about. Like, look, I came back. Did you guys? How did you feel about the crowd at Royal Rumble? Did you feel like they popped?
Well, I understood it because I was sitting behind the stage, and when the music hit, we didn't know who it was. So
That's
but
a
I
whole
think
nother
that's what
topic,
it was
man.
with the Royal Rumble.
I felt like
the
everybody
music
had
sucking.
generic music. It was like, who's this?
Yeah.
You gotta
Death
wait
Rebel
until
is
the stage.
absolutely garbage.
I felt like the thing is that they put in a lot of people that are not like that. You know what I'm saying? They Triple H wanted to use a lot of the people that they already have. You know, they didn't give us the legends and the returns of the iconic songs. So I mean, how are you supposed to know a song for somebody you don't really care about like that?
I watch every week, but I still have no idea these
Yeah.
people's interests.
For real?
That's
Yeah.
their problem.
Yeah.
That's their problem, man. Yeah, they have terrible music. They also don't book them really well. They don't
Music is
establish them as
actually
crazy.
think
Not
that-
everybody.
I
And the Royal
agree with
Rumble
you.
again. It
I
sucked.
agree.
Like they did no spots. Okay, I came in. They do one move, and then they just wait for the other entrance. It used to be back in the
Yeah.
day. They do finishers. They have 10 spots, and just when their spot is over, we get 10, 9. Like it was perfect. What
it was
happened?
more
to those-
traditional. No, you're right. It was more
Yeah.
traditional. It was like turning back the clock a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't the women's match was more like a higher
Yeah,
pace.
exactly.
The pacing
like
of
it
the
better.
women's match was definitely higher, and I get it. I get you. But I mean, the Royal Rumble match. Let's face it, though, we were just waiting for Cody versus CM Punk and that, and then Drew getting in there somewhere, and Gunther, like the final four.
Me. I was waiting for CM Punk to get thrown up.
Well, not you, but we were waiting for the final four. That's what we knew.
And he
That
was
that's
just
what.
mad who he got thrown over by because he don't like Cody Rhodes neither. today.
That's the problem with that
Yeah.
Rumble. I think
I
with-
like Cody Rhodes.
that Rumble was just 4 people. Gunther and Gunther was IC champ at that time, so not even Gunther. But I'm talking about the final 4 storyline. It was literally you knew who it was gonna be, bro.
The
It was
problem
so
is-
obvious.
Punk and Cody, yeah.
Here's the problem. They had Jay and Jimmy come out 1 and 2, and they did nothing between them. They could have done a story there. We could have other stories playing. Like there were so many, build-ups to WrestleMania. Why didn't Chad Gable? I don't know if he was in the match, but let's just imagine Chad was in there with
He
Gunther
wasn't.
for a second.
Yeah, he was.
Like do stuff like that.
I was really, trust me, man. I was so heartbroken when Chad Gable got rolled up by Sammy. That was just awful.
And that's the problem with WWE. You tell this big elaborate story, and you say, let's use this other guy. Just like they tried to do with Cody Rhodes.
Because you can't, first and foremost, you can't please everyone. But the Sammy's like main event level fandom. Like the people that love and mess with Sammy, it's like ridiculous. And to me, it's like, oh my God, we've already seen Sammy in the main event. We've seen Sammy as Intercontinental Champion. How many times now? Every time he's been IC champ, that shit has been trash as much as I like him.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolute.
He's a guy right now that did not need the title. He was over without it.
I was doing the stream and people were turning on me and I'm like, bro, you guys are hypocrites. You guys were there crying for Cody, but you ain't gonna cry for Chad Gable. Why? Because Chad Gable's not him or something like that. Like you're acting like Chad Gable's not as popular because what? Because he is great. I think he's great on the mic. He has charisma. He's funny. His timing, his in-ring ability is like there's very few people in WWE that are probably better than Gable, honestly, in the ring.
Sammy crybabies. That's what we call them right there. Chicken nuggets.
I was upset though when Chad lost because at the end of the day, like I don't think Chad was the guy to beat Gunther. I mean, I know some people think differently.
Yeah.
But if anybody should have had that match at Mania, regardless of what the result was, it should have been Chad Gable. It should have not.
There was something there.
You hit the nail on the head, Brian. I think it should have been
Yeah.
Gunther, Chad Gable, and Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn could have pinned Chad Gable or whatever. But Gunther didn't need to take that pin, especially if they're going to spin him off to face Cody Rhodes.
Gunther didn't need to be in the ring with Sammy at all at Mania.
Not at all.
It needed
Sami
to be
Zayn,
with
they could've
Chad.
found something else for him, man. But
You know what I would have. You want me to tell you how I would have booked that? I would have put Sammy versus Seth versus Drew because Seth was already busy anyways with the bloodline stuff.
There you go.
Drew was feuding with himself with his own demons and shit, and obviously CM Punk. There was more of a story with CM Punk than there was with Seth. Seth was just a guy holding the belt. But
And that's what happened.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna back your point up. Like he lost the title and he disappeared. Anyways, that proves your point.
Exactly.
it should have been Chad, bro. It should have been Chad. You had the angle of his daughter and his family crying. Like it was right there on a silver platter, man.
For sure. Or Jey Uso, and you would have done Jimmy and Jay at SummerSlam, because either way they did it at Mania, and that shit wasn't even like that. Like that shit looked like a Monday Night Raw main event.
I personally, I like the match was cool to me, but like it wasn't like, oh my god, like if you had to tell me name the worst match of WrestleMania, that is for sure the #1 match, and then 2 would be the Final Testament and the Pride.
Damn, dog. I can't put that. I can't. That match was too much of a, it hit home for me, because I love Bubba Ray Dudley. I love that they were paying homage to Philadelphia ECW. I love the Dudley Boy
No,
gimmick
I like
that
the point
they
they
did.
tried to put across, but that match, like for me, like here's the thing, right, bro? And I know we're going overtime at this point, but we're here.
20 minutes overtime.
Yeah.
Wait, what time are we supposed to end? You guys are trying to end it already?
No, I mean, we're good right now as long as they're good. We could do a couple more minutes, but Karrion Kross to me, bro, everything he touches is bronze, bro. Like he's just not over to me, bro. Karrion Kross, like
in reverse.
any gimmick that he tries is garbage to me. I'll be honest, bro.
Fine in NXT. The
I
fall
dislike.
He wasn't.
I dislike Karrion Kross. I'll be honest, bro. To me, he may be a great technical wrestler. He's good in the ring, but at the end of the day, he doesn't know how to get over. I don't know what's wrong with him. I really don't.
Vince hurt him. I think
Dude,
Vince killed him.
They didn't boo him. They didn't boo him enough at WrestleMania when you guys went.
They didn't care. I don't think there was.
I don't think anybody
enough.
cared, bro. I'll
The
be
fact
honest.
that
When I went,
The fact that Bubba Ray Dudley was in that match, we had Snoop Dogg coming out there, meant that they could have been replaceable. Like you could put anyone in that match and then put Bubba and.
yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah,
same
you
thing.
could. I get you. Like the gimmick and everything else, it would
Yeah.
be the same. I just feel like the SmackDown that I went to right before Royal Rumble, when Final Testament came out, they were getting booed like not Dominic Mysterio level, but pretty up there. Like
Was that their first appearance together?
No, it wasn't. No, he came out and sucker attacked Bobby Lashley, and the crowd erupted. Like I was like, oh my god, Karrion Kross is finally getting over, like, you know, as a bad guy, and I loved it. I thought it was amazing because I like Karrion Kross. I think Karrion Kross is awesome.
Nah, man, he hasn't been the same, bro. He don't hit.
That was the one good segment. That was a good segment. I remember that.
But
But
be honest.
Killer Kross was more of the NXT style he had when he was doing the Fall and Pray stuff. I thought he was fine back then. He looked like a menace. Then he grew his hair out and just looked like another one of the guys. So
I personally just I don't want to enjoy his work, man. You know,
But
like
have you been watching him on SmackDown? You've been watching his segments on
oh,
SmackDown?
I'll be honest, bro. I watch Raw and SmackDown every week, whether I'm with these guys or not, and most of the time I'm with these guys. I watch Raw and SmackDown every week, and I've like, bro, I don't know what it is, bro. If I had to name like my most disliked wrestler on the roster is Karrion Kross. Nothing personal. Nothing personal. But I just don't like him. I don't like his work, bro.
I feel you. All right, I feel you.
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
Then again, you don't like CM Punk for the wrong reasons. I'm talking about straight wrestling.
No, I don't like him because I never liked him. From Straight Edge Society, all that stuff. I just never got it.
I think he needs to cut his hair again, go back to what he was doing back in NXT a couple years ago, and try again. I don't think the Final Testament thing is getting over, bro. Think about it, Lex. If it was getting over, Final Testament would have not lost at Mania. They should have gotten that win if Triple H and whoever was on the creative team thought, all right, there's something here. We got to build this.
I think they lost at Mania because this WrestleMania was fan service galore, bro. I mean, look at everyone that won. I literally could have predicted the entire Mania because
all the faces won.
Yeah,
dog.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
expect all the faces to win. I was telling Kenny the night before night one, I'm like, dog, too many faces winning, bro. Cody's gonna lose tomorrow.
Because they wanted, this was like, you know, the most crowd pleasing, again, something for everyone. JB Jimmy, Cody finished his story, Rhea retained, Bailey won, you know, Sammy got to do the Rocky story in Philadelphia. Like it was literally just pure fan service. And that's why when Vince, as much of an asswipe as you could say that he is for 1,000,001 reasons, he did not care what people like. He was tapped in and like I know what people are saying online, but I don't care. Like he gave into Daniel Bryan last minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Daniel Bryan stuff was last minute. And
I think if Vince still had the pin, Roman Reigns would WrestleMania for sure.
No, see, if he was still,
if Vince still had
I
the
don't
pin,
think
it was
so.
going to be Roman versus
if
The
Vince
Rock.
still had the
so.
keys, I think I don't know. I mean, the fact that Vince went and got Cody himself
Yeah, I think
Things
Cody
could
would
have
have
been
probably
different.
even lost. I think Cody would have probably even lost last year if Vince had the keys, dude. I think
Last year?
Vince really wanted to like stick it to like just everyone pretty much at this point, right? Like the way that he rolled out the red carpet for Cody, I don't think we've heard of anything in recent memory like that.
Yeah, he was more insane than Roman and John Cena
Yeah,
at one
that
point.
brother
Like,
flew.
yeah.
That brother flew to his house to go get Cody. Like,
You know, Cody was like God level. I would say that
Yeah.
Cody was even like they were even saying, "Oh, Cody Rhodes is coming on TV in like 25 minutes with like 30 seconds
Yeah.
left." Like I'm like, "Holy snap! I've never seen this." Not even
Interesting
for
they saw the potential in him though, because he was getting booed out the building at AEW.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
He must
was.
have been seeing that and be like,
yeah,
we
and
can
then
fix that. Don't even
again,
worry about it.
technically, it was even a little bit broken in AEW when he was getting booed as a babyface, and Vince was like, "No, it's not broken. I want everything. That
Everything,
the full
yeah.
package."
Yeah, Cody told him, "Oh no, if I come in, I'm doing my thing," and he said, "That's exactly what we're paying
That-
for."
He said, "That's exactly why I'm
Ow.
here." Like,
yeah.
no, yeah, man. So it's it's a tough one.
All right, y'all. Listen, I haven't had dinner yet.
Damn, poor Kenny. No wonder you've been giving us all these bad takes,
Yeah,
bro.
you had this debate for
No, I
your
never eat
dinner.
dinner until we finish.
All right,
But
then.
it was great, fellas. I
Yeah,
enjoyed
it was
it.
fun.
Shout out
Yeah,
to the
dude.
chat.
was
We had
fun.
everybody in here doing it up, talking trash,
Doing
saying I
it
had
up.
some bad takes, but shouts out to y'all anyway.
Let
Love
the
you
fellas
to death.
know.
Let's
Are
go,
we
let's
are we
go
here
before
next
get out
week?
of here.
Are we here next week before we leave?
No, we
Are we
quit.
here next week?
We
gotta tell
quit.
people right
We
now.
never know.
Let's ask the people. Does Kenny have bad takes?
Damn, you're gonna put yourself out there like that?
Yeah,
Kenny
man,
has-
this is how we
Kenny
do it.
has the most horrible takes in the IWC.
Nah, they don't. These people don't believe that. Let me show y'all. They agree with me.
IWC or what's that other name? The WGC. What,
The
either-
What's WGC?
And,
either one.
WGC?
What you say? Hold on, Lex. What you say?
What's WGC?
Hey, my boy, let's keep it that way. We gonna
Perfect.
But yeah, Brian,
Perfect.
you were absolutely right. We had a topic list to go through, and we only hit one of them.
Yes,
What?
Crazy.
I
Does
tried
Kenny
to-
have
as
bad
we
takes?
do.
I
Keep
tried
everybody in
to
the
I tried
chat
to
today.
pivot, but hey,
Wow.
I know you
man.
tried to pivot, and Lex brought us right back in by talking
What?
trash about AEW.
Nah, you asked me. I was trying to stay quiet for the longest. And you're like, "No, let's go ahead. You could go." I'm like, "No, I don't want to talk."
Trash about AEW, man. I had to get back. I can't let it fly. Can't let it fly.
Nah, but
This
I
is
wasn't.
usually how it
I gotta
goes.
get y'all votes in. Does
Yeah.
Kenny have bad
Oh.
takes? Can we get it 50-50 in the chat at
Yo,
least?
but what did I really talk bad about AEW though? What did I
I
really
feel like
say? That was
AEW just can't get it right, and I was like, okay, bro. Now we got to go back to this.
about the roster being underutilized, and you agree with me. You said
Oh,
they have
yeah, I
booking
agree.
problems.
Absolutely.
All
All
right,
right,
we're gonna
then.
end up. We're gonna end up right at
We
the
gonna hit it right
beginning.
there, y'all.
So what
We
are
got
we
nice
talking
votes in the
about?
chat.
Thank you,
And I got bad
everybody.
takes. I will not be coming back next time, y'all. Y'all gonna be chilling with Kato and Brian. Maybe on
Nah. Kenny will be here. We will be back here again at 9, hopefully next week on
Hopefully.
Thursday.
next week because y'all said I got bad takes.
I mean,
Yo,
you
thank
do,
you- thank
do,
you
but
guys
we
for
deserve
having
the
me,
bad-
bro.
But we like the
No,
bad
this
takes.
is
Next
WWE.
week,
This is a WWE chat. That's why.
we're gonna bring out footage and show Kenny for who he
Backstage.
is.
Bro, come on.
Real
Next week,
Kenny
we're
Bomb.
gonna, next week we're gonna bring out text messages from Kenny admitting how much
Oh,
of
come on, bro. Don't do me like that. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all come back next Thursday. They're gonna reveal the text messages to put you on blast. Make sure you don't miss.
get a little rating pop. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
Maybe
yeah.
an extra 10 people.
Tell your
come
friends
through,
and
you know
tell
what I'm saying?
everybody they exposed to me next.
But hey, man,
All
we're
right.
gonna catch y'all. Y'all have a good one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that like button.
Hit that
Peace.
like button. Smash that sub. Get to it.